The new anti-sneeze Rinso presents Big Town, starring Edward G. Robinson with Ona Munson. Good evening, folks. This is Ken Niles. We are happy to announce that this broadcast is being made available to our armed forces based overseas. You know, an old proverb that I just thought of says, if you want a whiter wash well done, just leave it to Rinso. And how true that is. Why, those quick-acting Rinso suds are tough as nails on dirt and grime, yet safe for washable colors. And with Rinso, you can hustle through a load of clothes with as little as a 5-minute run in your washer. How's that for saving your clothes and easing up on your trusty machine? That washer's got to last for the duration, you know. If I were you, I'd have it checked right now by a reliable dealer. And I'd certainly get the new anti-sneeze Rinso tomorrow. And now, Big Town. The makers of Rinso bring you the star of Big Town, Edward G. Robinson, as Steve Wilson, managing editor of the Illustrated Press, with Ona Munson as Lorelei Kilborn, girl reporter. Until recently, Steve and Lorelei have always been on the receiving end of the news in Big Town. Now we find them where news is being made, in war-torn Europe, grabbing headlines hot from the fire in Lisbon, Portugal. But before we join Steve and Lorelei, let's stop for a minute in Big Town, America, and find out what's going on there.
Yes, your Illustrated Press, DC agrees to dismantle warships in minor names. Read Steve Wilson's sensational dispatches from Lisbon,
Hello, transatlantic operator. Big Town calling Lisbon.
This is Lisbon.
The Illustrated Press calling Mr. Steve Wilson.
Lisbon is ready.
All right, Lisbon, just a second. I have Mr. Wilson for you, Mr. Fletcher.
Oh, that's swell, McNulty. Oh, it'll be good to hear the boss's voice again. Can I listen in, Fletcher? Sure, Hoagie. Grab that other phone. Oh, swell. Hello? Are you there, Steve? Sure. You don't have to shout like that, Fletcher. Just like talking to Brooklyn. oh, I see. Well, here's what I called about. We've been getting some mysterious letters from Paris, all addressed to you. Well, how can that be? No mail is reaching the United States from Paris. Well, these letters are smuggled out and mailed in London. Oh, they're full of dynamite, Steve. Red-hot news about the underground revolt in occupied France. We've been running them in the Illustrated Press in circulations of 20,000 a day. Well, who wrote the letters? Well, they're unsigned, but they're written in English. And in every letter we find a certain phrase repeated over and over again. A phrase I think you'll remember. The words, by the same token. Who does that remind you of? Art Mason. Of course. Art Mason used to be our Paris correspondent. Remember how we used to kid him about using that phrase in all his dispatches? Yes, you bet I do. Why, I haven't heard from Art since we got into the war. Not since I burned the cables begging him to leave his beloved Paris and come home. Well, he's using that phrase now to identify himself. He's still there in Paris and still sending. Steve, do you think you can contact him? Oh, no, not from Lisbon. Lorelei and I will grab a plane for Vichy today. Maybe Art has an underground connection there, and I'll try to get word to him. Oh, swell. Give our love to the gang. So long. Well, goodbye, Steve. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye.
And now, to Lisbon, to the headquarters of the Nazi secret police.
Captain Heinrich?
Yeah, Ritter?
We have just listened in on an interesting transatlantic telephone conversation between the American Steve Wilson and his newspaper, the Illustrated Press.
So?
Wilson and Fräulein Kilburn are flying to Vichy today. They will try to contact a man named Mason.
Mason? We can only lay our hands on him. Ritter, I want a complete transcription of Wilson's telephone conversation with America.
Your Excellency.
I also want to know the plane on which his reservations have been made. I'll call our headquarters in Paris. They may have some special instructions concerning our American editor.
Steve, have you ever seen so many planes from so many countries? So many people going so many places.
Well, there's been just one focal terminal left for what commercial air travel they still have in Europe.
Taking off. British air terminal, first runway. Arriving. Deutsche Lufthansa, second runway.
British, German, and Italian planes side by side on the same field.
Yes, elsewhere, they're shooting each other out of the skies. Things happening here are implausible, illogical, and unbelievable, yet they happen.
You met Hugh Wilson?
Yes.
You are leaving for Vichy?
That's right.
There is a message for you in this envelope, monsieur. Read it when you get aboard the plane, then destroy it.
Wait a minute. Who gave you this?
You will know when you read it. Bon voyage, monsieur.
Airway français, heure runway, destination Vichy, all passengers aboard.
No. Here we go, Lorelei. Oh, Stuart, is this the gate for the Vichy plane?
Oui, monsieur. We have so many passengers for this trip to Vichy that 2 planes are leaving. Your tickets?
Here you are.
Merci, monsieur. You have a last-minute reservation. You and madame are on the second plane. Come, I take you aboard.
Oh, there are a lot of passengers for Vichy. Most of them seem to be German.
Yes, I noticed that. With the vultures all flying in one direction, there must be a fresh carcass to pick. Here, careful of these steps.
Go right in, monsieur, madame. Your seats are numbers 1 and 3.
Thank you, Stuart. Our seats are up here in front, Lorelei. Oh, there weren't many extra passengers at that. Except for those 3 men on the rear seats, we have this plane to ourselves.
I'm dying to know what's in that envelope.
So am I. Get this. If you're interested in art, advise you stop at Hotel Celestin in Vichy. Others interested in art will contact you. Try to get the picture entitled France Will Rise Again.
There's no signature.
If you're interested in art. I wonder if that means Art Mason.
Of course it does.
Try to get the picture. We say in American slang that would mean try to understand.
Well, then, France Will Rise Again must be a code.
You've hit it, Lorelei. Art Mason must have found out we're in Lisbon, that we're leaving for Vichy, and he'll try to contact us there. I think we've made the right move.
Wake up. Wake up, Steve.
Oh, yes. Oh, hello, Lorelei.
Hello.
Where are we now?
Oh, we're almost there. You've been sleeping like a baby.
Yes, so I have.
Look out the window. You can see Vichy ahead.
Well, so that's the capital of France. Must have grown since I was here last. See, that's strange.
What is?
The lights are out all over the city.
You're right, they are. I didn't know they had blackouts in Vichy.
Well, could be a practice blackout, although wouldn't do them much good with that full moon overhead.
We're losing altitude, getting ready to land.
And look here, there's something wrong, Lorelei.
What do you mean?
Well, Vichy has no river running through the center of it. Unless I've gone crazy, that's the Seine.
Seine, but that's in Paris.
Of course it is, and that's just where we're about to land, in Nazi-occupied Paris.
How could that happen?
Well, that business of steering us into another plane was a trick of some sort. The steward who showed us aboard must have been a fake. They put one over on us.
Exactly, Herr Wilson, and there's nothing you can do about it. Red Engel, keep an eye on them. I am Captain Heinrich of the German military police.
Yeah, was it you who had this plane routed to Paris?
Yeah.
But why? We're not spies. We're American citizens, traveling from one neutral country to another.
Dangerous citizens who must be put away. While you were in Lisbon, you worked hand in hand with British intelligence. Also, we don't like the stories you send your American newspaper.
Oh, you mean you don't like the truth? This plane is flying under the insignia of Vichy, France. If you land us in Paris, you'll be violating the laws of neutrality.
One violation, more or less, will not matter. You're under arrest for attempting illegal entry into a German military zone.
Oh, well, you deliberately reroute our plane and then accuse us of an illegal attempt to get across the border. Oh, that's typical Hitler logic.
The plane is landing, Herr Wilson. You better sit down. My orders were to deliver you alive. Please let me carry them out.
Where are you taking us in this car, Captain Heinrich?
First to our headquarters for questioning. You'll enjoy that.
Oh, I'm sure we will. What section of Paris are we passing through now?
The industrial district. In the factories on both sides of this street, Frenchmen used to make a famous French car. Now they manufacture bombing planes for the Third Reich.
But the factories are dark. Don't your slaves work at night?
Oh, the Nazis work them 14 hours a day, Lorelei. They have to let the poor devils get some sleep or they wouldn't be able to go on.
You've talked enough, you two. Keep your mouths shut and we'll shut them for you. Donnerwetter. Engel, pull to the curb. Stop the car.
What's that whistle, Steve?
Sounds like an air raid alarm.
That's just what it is. Planes overhead now. The British are raiding us again.
What, you mean those are British planes in the sky?
Yeah. Some of your American planes, too, you Schweinhund.
Well, your air raid alarm is a little late. In my country, we sound an alert before the final alarm is heard.
We have that too, but we also have French saboteurs who cut the wires. They welcome those British dogs. Get out of the car, both of you. We've got to find shelter. If you try any tricks, we'll shoot you down.
Keep close to me, Lorelei. This may be our one chance to get away from them.
Look out! It's coming!
How about it, Steve? Are we alive or dead?
Alive, I think. Oh, it sounded as if the whole world were crashing around my ears.
Oh, it's deafened me. I can hardly hear a thing. What happened to our friends, the Nazis?
The driver of the car and the guard got their tickets all right. They're lying out there on the street. Well, here's Captain Heinrich, laid out as neatly as you please.
Is he dead?
I'm afraid not. No, unconscious, that's all. Boy, look at those factory buildings burn.
Steve, there's some German soldiers coming.
Yes, I see them. Don't get excited. Just keep moving.
But where on earth can we go?
I don't know. Paris is crawling with Nazis. You may get caught any minute. Somehow we've got to find Art Mason. He's our only hope.
It's easy to make claims. It's harder to deliver. What makes Movie the home of home entertainment? Good old-fashioned courtesy. There are no high-pressure salespeople and no hidden surprises. Everything is right up front. Who else has 32 video machines and over 600 movies in-store available for rent? Who else has access to a main library with over 1,000 titles, including all the latest releases? And who else offers special machine and movie packages at unusually low rates? Movie, the home of home entertainment in the New Market Plaza. In fact, Movie will even accept reservations in advance. Just call 898-6311. Come in and experience the benefits of Movie. Who else goes out of their way to see that all their customers are completely happy? Movie, the home of home entertainment in the New Market Plaza on Davis Drive. Call 898-6311. That's 898-6311.
Please stay tuned in at the end of this program for exciting news about next week's show. And now back to Steve and Lorelei in Paris. We left Steve and Lorelei as they escaped from the scene of a British air raid on military objectives in Paris. Two Americans in desperate need of a hiding place with enemies all around them. And now we find them in a cab being driven through the Paris streets.
Yeah, lucky thing we found a cab driver who didn't suspect my French.
Well, at least he didn't appear to. You know, he's a dear old thing. Did you ever see such a lovely mustache?
Makes him look like a walrus.
Oh, sweet old walrus. Are we being followed?
No. No, I don't see any sign of it. But you never can tell.
Oh, ma chérie. You have arrived, monsieur. 422 Rue Washington.
All right, driver. You wait in the cab, Lorelei. This is the house where Art Mason and I used to share a room together. Probably isn't here anymore, but the landlady may know where I can find him.
Well, look, Steve, there's a woman just going into the house.
Pardonnez-moi, madame.
Oui, monsieur.
I'm looking for Madame Perron. Would you call her, please?
That would be difficult, monsieur. Madame Perron is dead.
Dead?
Oui. She was among the refugees who were killed on the highways as they tried to escape from Paris.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. But what about her little son, Pierre? What happened to him?
I do not know. Pierre is gone, too.
Oh, poor little devil. Well, are any of Madame Perron's old lodgers still living in this house?
No. German officers live here now.
Or France will rise again, madame.
Shh. Be careful when you say those words. Who are you?
I'm a friend of France. I'm looking for an old comrade, an American, Arthur Mason. Do you know him?
I know of him. He's not here now. Go to the Hotel de Capture, Boulevard de Strasbourg. Ask the night clerk at the desk. That is all I can tell you.
Merci, madame. The Hotel de Capture. This is it, Lorelei. The Hotel of the Four Sisters.
À votre service, monsieur.
So are you the night clerk?
Oui, monsieur. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm trying to locate an old friend. I understand he stopped here at one time. Perhaps he left a forwarding address.
His name, please?
Mason.
Mason. His first name?
Arthur. Arthur Mason.
Many people come here looking for Monsieur Mason. Some of them speak French with a German accent.
Well, I'm American. You can see that. But here's my passport.
Ah, oui.
This lady and I are in trouble, and we've got to find Mason tonight. We don't mean to do him any harm. Quite the contrary. We need his help.
I think I understand. Attention. Don't look. Continue talking to me. The Gestapo car has just stopped outside this hotel. The men inside it are watching you through the window.
Oh, I knew they'd find us.
Don't lose your nerve, Laura.
Don't lose yours. What are we going to do?
Attendez, monsieur. I placed the hotel register before you saw. You sign your name as if you were going to become a guest here. You understand?
That's right, it's true. We've got to make them think they had us in a trap.
Oui.
What happens next?
Now, I pretend to show you to the corridor which leads to your rooms. Follow me, please.
We're right with you. If we only had some luggage, it might look real.
But instead, I show you to this door, which opens to the back alley. I will get word to Mason.
Good. You tell him Steve Wilson is here. Tell him to meet us at Mimi's.
At Mimi's, oui. Bonsoir, monsieur, madame.
Bonsoir.
Oh,
God bless you. Come on, Laura.
oh, that was a narrow shave.
We're not out of it yet. Yeah, watch your step. It's as black as the ace of spades in this alley.
Oh,
What's the matter?
oh, there's something lying here on the ground. I think it's the body of a man. I nearly fell over him.
Wait a minute until I strike a match.
Well, wait a minute.
Hey, it's Scott. Who are you?
Driver, your cab, monsieur. Man lying on the ground. It's an agent of the Gestapo. He was waiting here for you. He will wait no more.
What did you do to him?
Does it matter? One Nazi less to plead for us. My cab is waiting at the end of the alley. Hurry.
Well, why should you risk your life to help us?
The Gestapo wants you. That is enough for me. Are you English spies?
No. We're Americans. We're hunting for another American. A good friend, Art Mason. We've got to find him tonight.
Here's my cab. Get in quick. You should have told me you wanted Monsieur Mason.
Well, how could we know you were to be trusted?
The little people of France are still to be trusted, monsieur. They are still fighting for liberty.
I believe that, driver. Take us to the park, the Bois de Boulogne.
But you told the clerk you'd meet Mason at Mimi's.
I know, that's where she is, in the Bois de Boulogne.
Oh, the Bois de Boulogne isn't like a park at all. It's more like a forest.
Yes, you could get lost in here if you didn't know your way around.
But you said you were going to meet Aunt Mason at Mimi's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't tell me Mimi lives here among the trees.
There's Mimi.
Where?
That broken statue of Psyche standing there in the middle of the pool.
Well, she certainly looks devilish, doesn't she?
Well, that's why Art and I called her Mimi. We used to meet here in the old days. We've hiked through these woods 100 times.
What?
And the clerk got word to him I'm banking that he'll show up.
Oh, I hope you're right. I've already got the jitters. I never did care for the woods at night. What's that?
Bonsoir, monsieur, madame.
Holy smoke, a kid.
Don't you remember me, Monsieur Wilson? I am Pierre, the son of Madame Perron.
Pierre? Well, I'd never know it. Well, you've certainly grown since I saw you last.
Oui. These days in Paris, a fellow gets to be a man very quickly. But I am 12.
I beg your pardon. This is Lorelei.
Hello, Pierre. Well, forgive me for saying it, but you don't look as if you get enough to eat.
I think I have never had enough to eat, mademoiselle. There are thousands like me here in Paris. Boys whose fathers and mothers have been killed by the Nazis. They call us the wild boys of the streets. I am the leader of my own gang.
Well, have you got your gang with you?
They are never very far away from me. Monsieur Mason got word you were here. He could not come himself, so he sent me to get you.
You know where he is?
Oh, but of course. My boys and I, we work with him. We help to deliver his underground newspaper, La Liberté. We are working for Free France.
And you can take us to him tonight?
Oui, mademoiselle, at once. You come with me.
Just what we're ready to find out. Quick, men, to grab that boy.
I've got him, excellent.
Let me go.
Quiet, you.
Oh, you filthy beast.
These wild boys must be controlled, Fräulein. Their bite is poisonous. I trust you haven't forgotten me, Herr Wilson, Captain Heinrich.
I'll never forget
We
you.
lost you once tonight, but we won't lose you again. We've trailed you from one place to another, knowing you'd lead us to Mason.
So that's where you made a great mistake. We don't know where he is.
Ah, but the boy knows, and I don't think we'll have much trouble with him. We have methods that make even strong men tell all they know.
You can torture me, but I will never tell
I
you.
think you will, gutter rat. Bring him along, Bender. Jawohl. You're coming with us, Wilson. You too, Fräulein. Our car is waiting down the road. Stop moving.
I'm worried, I'm worried. Please don't
The wild boys is a mob of delinquents. They are fooling us. Take out the Bender. Fire on them.
Now is our time. Follow me,
scoundrel, Art Mason. Well, it's certainly good to see you again.
Same here, Steve. I never thought our next meeting would be under these conditions.
Well, it's quite an elaborate hideout you have down here, Art.
Yes, the catacombs under this old cathedral must have been built over 500 years ago. They've hidden many a revolutionary in the past. This isn't the first time France has fought for her freedom, you know.
You know, Art, those newsletters you sent to the press created a sensation in Big Town. We've got to have more of them.
You'll get them, Steve. One of our workers will contact you regularly. Here's the code you'll use.
Thanks, Art.
You sure you don't lose it?
No, I won't.
Well, first, I've got to get you two out of Paris.
Well, I don't see how it can be done.
Well, it has been done. It is being done. You know, this is one of the stations on the underground route for smuggling refugees into the unoccupied zone. Well, it's about time you got here, Major.
Ik bedank, Herr Mason. Sturing?
Nein, kommen Sie rein.
Besten Dank. What is...
I want you to meet two friends of mine, Steve Wilson and Lorelei Kilburn.
Right me there. Say, what is this, Art? A German officer in uniform? What the devil is he doing here?
Tell him, Major.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Wilson, I'm as much of an American as you are.
You see, Germany has no monopoly on secret agents. Our men of the United States intelligence get around, too. I can't tell you the Major's real name, but he's just finished an assignment in Berlin and Paris. My job is to help him get out of here, into unoccupied territory. All we needed was a Gestapo card. We've got one now, thanks to you and Pierre.
We're leaving at once, Mr. Wilson.
We?
Yes, we have a German uniform for you. You'll be my military chauffeur. All you have to do is keep quiet. Well, that shouldn't be difficult.
You'll have to be across the border before daybreak. Do you think you can stand another trip tonight, Lorelei?
I'm game.
Well, it won't be fun, exactly, and I can't promise it will succeed. You ready to change, Wilson? Yes, I'm ready. Look here, Art. Why can't you come with us?
Well, Steve, my work is here. I can't leave my wild boys. They need me. I'll get word to you from time to time. My old man. So long, Lorelei. Send my regards to all the boys in Big Town.
Slow up, Wilson. Into the border of unoccupied France. Our last station under German military control. Sit tight, both of you. Say nothing unless you have to.
Your name, Major?
Reinhardt, 3rd Division, on route to Vichy. Here are my papers.
Thank you, Herr Major. Very good. Everything is in order, Herr Major.
Thank you. Proceed, driver.
One moment, please.
Huh?
We have a description of this car. It was stolen from the Gestapo last night in Paris.
Huh?
Wait till I see the number. Yes, it's the same. You'll have to come inside until you report this to my captain.
Oh, come inside. Nothing. We're late already. It's my fault, Herr Major. The car ordered for this trip broke down last night, and I found this one abandoned on the street near the Bois de Boulogne. Knowing you had to leave at once, I commandeered it in your name.
Oh, you stupid fool. You should have reported this to me.
My apologies to the Gestapo, Sergeant. Tell them I sent their car back from Vichy, eh?
But I can't let you go on, Major. My orders are very strict.
My orders supersede any that you may have received. I'm on the business of affairs. I'm not to be delayed, understand?
But, Herr Major, at last, let him call my captain.
Get out of our way or we run you down. Drive on, you idiot. Drive on.
Yeah,
Oh, boy. I never thought we'd make it that far. It's a lucky thing for us. There were no commissioned officers on the badge yet.
Oh, I'm just about ready to call out.
Well, we're in the unoccupied zone now. Keep going, Wilson. Well, don't worry, I will. Goodbye, Paris. I hope I'll see you again someday. Someday when you're free.
It's easy to make claims. It's harder to deliver. What makes Movie the home of home entertainment? Good old-fashioned courtesy. There are no high-pressure salespeople and no hidden surprises. Everything is right up front. Who else has 32 video machines and over 600 movies in store available for rent? Who else has access to a main library with over 1,000 titles, including all the latest releases? And who else offers special machine and movie packages at unusually low rates? Movie, the home of home entertainment in the New Market Plaza. In fact, Movie will even accept reservations in advance. Just call 898-6311. Come in and experience the benefits of Movie. Who else goes out of their way to see that all their customers are completely happy? Movie, the home of home entertainment in the New Market Plaza on Davis Drive. Call 898-6311. That's 898-6311.
And now for the preview of next week's thrilling show. An adventure laid against the romantic background of Tangier in Spanish Morocco. A story of Steve matching wits with a dangerous spy. from the Wilhelmstrasse in Berlin, the news leaks out that Jason, the Nazis' master killer, is on the loose again. It's night in Tangier, a narrow alley between two high walls. Steve and Lorelei hidden in the shadows of a doorway.
We've got him, Lorelei.
Do you think he's still here in the alley?
He's got to be. There's no exit at the other end. He's hunting us just as we're hunting him. Now, no matter what happens, I want you to stay right here where you'll be safe.
Listen, I can hear someone scraping along the side of the wall.
You're right. He's coming this way. Get back. There he goes. Stay where you are, Lorelei.
Please come back. It may be a trap. Oh, you fool, don't follow him into that dark room. What did I tell you? There's a trap lock on the door. I can't get it open. Steve! You knew it would happen. I knew it. Now they're hiding in there. Oh, what can I do? Help! Help! Steve! Is that you? Steve, why don't you answer me?
Was it Steve? Or was it Jason? Remember, that's the scene from the middle of the story, not the end. Same time, same station, next Thursday night. The music for tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Leeds Stevens. This broadcast was produced under the direction of Crane Wilbur. All the names used in Big Town are fictitious, and any similarity to actual persons and places is purely coincidental.
There's nothing so dismal as a foghorn. Unless it's somebody with... Stop B.O. Take a daily bath with the new 1942 Lifebuoy. New added ingredient, new vanishing scent, same protective lather. From head to toe, it stops B.O. Lifebuoy.
Extra, extra, get your illustrated press. Read wide and no rich Lorenzo. Give brighter, brighter washes. Extra, try
Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town.
Extra, extra, hero about blind justice. Steve Wilson's headline story brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, used in the homes of 40 million Americans. Extra,
Yes, Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town, the headline stories of a great city, dramatically reported by Steve Wilson, fighting managing editor, whose creed, as with all great newspaper men, is emblazoned on the masthead of the Illustrated Press.
The power and the freedom of the press is a flaming sword, that it may be a servant of all the people. Use it justly, hold it high, and guard it well.
Now, Big Town, and tonight's headline story of blind justice. The spirit of justice is personified in the figure of a woman, blindfold, armed with a sword of authority and holding high the finely balanced scales of right and wrong. And Steve Wilson's story for tonight deals with just such a measure of good and evil, and had its beginning in an unpretentious house in a residential section of Big Town.
Yes, just a minute, please. I'm coming.
Hi, lady.
Oh, just a minute. I'll switch on the porch light for you.
Never mind turning on the light, lady. Where's Mike Barton?
In the parlor. Please come in.
No, thanks. Get him out here on the porch.
Who is it, Anna?
A man to see you, Mike. He won't come in.
Oh, who'd be wanting to see me at this time of night?
Hi, Barton.
Oh. Anna,
Yes, Mike. What's wrong?
Go in the parlor, Anna. Go in the parlor and close the door.
Oh, Mike. Not more trouble. Not more trouble, Mike.
Anna. Please go in the parlor and close the door.
All right, Mike. But don't let him make you lose your temper and do something you'll regret.
That's good advice, Barton. Who's the dame, your wife?
No, me sister. And I'll thank you not to be calling her a dame.
Okay, Barton. Pull in your horns and listen to what I gotta tell you.
If you're from that chiseling outfit run by Knuckles Malone, I'll have none of your threats.
The big man's tired of sending little boys out to threaten you, Barton.
Then what have you come out here for?
To make with the last proposition.
Proposition, is it?
Yeah.
I'll hire none of Malone's cutthroats on any construction job I'm foreman of. And I'll not kick back any part of their pay to the likes of him, and you can tell him that.
That's your last word, Barton?
It's me very last word.
You said it. You said it.
Steve Wilson, Illustrated Press.
Steve, the Lorelei, your favorite crime reporter. Your hunch was right on that Mike Barton murder out here in Willowdale.
Good grief. The same Mike Barton who was beaten up by hoodlums here in Big Town last month, Lorelei?
Yeah, Steve. He was another construction foreman.
Well, that could mean Knuckles Malone and his building trades racket.
Yes, but try and prove it. There are no witnesses to the shooting who can identify the killer.
What about Barton's sister? Our local correspondent phoned she was in the house at the time of the shooting.
He didn't have all the facts, Steve, and I'd rather not give them to you over the phone. Could you come out here before you make a move to pin this murder on Malone?
Of course, if you think it's important.
I think it's very important, Steve, but I can't explain on the phone. Make it as quick as you can.
Okay, Lorelei. What's the address?
The last and only house on Willow Lane. And please hurry.
We'll find it. I'll pick up Harry the Hack and be out there on the double.
Say, boss.
Say it, Harry.
How come we are hightailing it way out here into the sticks, practically?
Well, Miss Kilburn has run into something on the killing of a construction foreman who lived out here, Harry.
Uh-oh.
Watch for a turn into Willow Lane. Should be along here on the right.
Check, boss. Here it is.
Oh, good. Lorelei phoned. It was the house at the end of this lane, Harry.
Looks like it's the only house, which makes it a somewhat underdeveloped overdevelopment, if you get what I mean.
Yes. No wonder the local police couldn't find a single witness to the murder.
End of the lane, boss. And there's the house right under the trees.
Well, this must be it, Harry. There's Lorelei's press car standing in the drive.
Hey, you want for me to wait or haul back to Big Town?
You better wait a few minutes, Harry. I'm sure there's a Big Town angle on this killing, and I may need you to help check on it.
Okay, boss. Me and old Bess will be ready and rearing to go, to say nothing of my trusty monkey wrench.
Good. I'll be out in a few minutes. Huh. Strange. The local police hadn't left a man here to guard the house.
That you, Steve?
Oh, yes, Lorelei. Where's the local law?
They've taken Barton's body to headquarters and seem to think there's nothing more to do here. Come on in and I'll explain why I called you.
As I gathered, you couldn't talk over the phone.
I didn't want to frighten Mike Barton's sister, Steve.
Good grief. Did the police leave her here alone in this isolated house, knowing she's the only witness to a brutal gang slaying?
Yes, but you'll see why in a moment. But I think we should get her out of here.
Oh, definitely. And I can't understand the police leaving her unguarded if there's the slightest chance of her being able to identify the killer, Lorelei.
That's why, Steve. She can't identify the man who came to see Mike Barton and shot him to death on his own doorstep.
But over the phone, you said she opened the door, spoke to the man before her brother came out and asked her to go in the parlor.
Yes, Steve, but the catch is she...
Miss Kilburn, is that your Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Miss Barton. Now you'll get what I mean, Steve.
Won't you ask him to come into the parlor?
In just a minute. Would you mind getting your things and being ready to go?
Must I go, Miss Kilburn? I haven't been out of this house in many years. Is it really necessary?
Well, just for a few days, Miss Barton, until we can locate your other relatives.
Will I be able to come back for poor Mike's funeral?
Yes, of course. And now, if you'll just get your things, you can tell Mr. Wilson your story on the way to Big Town.
All right, Miss Kilburn, I'll go get me things.
Good heavens, Lorelei. Blind.
Yes, Steve. Completely blind. We know it, and the police know she can't possibly identify her brother's killer, but...
Yes, I didn't realize it at first. She doesn't look or act blind.
And that's why I think we ought to get her out of here, Steve.
Yes, she fooled me for a minute, and the killer may think she can identify him. Try to silence her if we get too close to the truth in trying to link Barton's murder to Knuckles Malone and his building trades racket.
Exactly. And I think we better get her to a safe place before we go after Malone.
Yes, Loreline, your apartment couldn't be a better place.
Couldn't Harry take her there in his cab?
No, I want Harry to watch this house for the next few hours while I try to stir up a hornet's nest in Big Town.
What about me?
And I want you to stay with Miss Barton until I can give Knuckles Malone enough rope to hang himself for this crime.
Thus, Steve takes steps to protect the innocent before setting a trap for the guilty. And in a moment, we'll return for the swift-moving developments.
Extra, extra, he roll about it. Doctors make amazing report. He roll about it.
Yes, leading doctors have proved it. Lifebuoy Health Soap gets skin cleaner.
Lifebuoy.
Get skin cleaner.
So refreshing.
Get skin cleaner.
Lifebuoy.
Get skin cleaner.
It's milder too.
Doctors proved it.
Lifebuoy with its purifying ingredient.
Get skin cleaner.
Yes, get skin cleaner.
Stops BO, too.
As no other leading soap can do.
Yes, it's a fact. Doctors proved it. Lifebuoy with its purifying ingredient gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Cleaner than any other leading soap. The cleaner you get your skin, these doctors found, the safer you are from BO. Doctors compared the effects of daily baths with different soaps in 820 scientific tests. These tests prove Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner, stops BO as no other leading soap can. Refreshing, mild. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Get Lifebuoy right away. Now, back to Big Town and Steve Wilson's timely and ironic story of blind justice. Fearing the racketeers behind the brutal gang killing of a construction foreman may not know the only possible witness against them is their victim's blind sister, Lorelei has taken Anna Barton to her apartment for safety, while Steve sets a trap for the killers. But meanwhile, in the warehouse offices of the so-called Big Town Supply Company...
Yeah, come in. Hi, Knuckles. Spenny says you want to see me.
I'll say I do. Where you been all night?
Showing myself around the spots in case anybody starts asking about the blood out of that Barton dope.
You're the dope. Take a look at this story in the early edition of the Illustrated Press.
Well, so what? Ain't that racket-busting Wilson been trying to pin something on you for months?
Yeah, and maybe this time he's got a chance.
How come?
Read the story, you dope, or maybe you're so dumb you can't read. Give me that rag. Now listen to this. Mike Barton's sister opened the door and the killer asked to see her brother, who came to the door, sent his sister into the parlor, and a moment later was shot to death.
All right, so what? Look, she didn't turn on the light, and I had my coat collar turned up, my hat pulled down. I tell you, the dame never got a good look at.
Maybe good enough for the cops to pick you up for her to identify.
Well, there ain't no description there in the
Now,
paper.
listen, stupid. The cops don't hand out everything they've got. And that guy Wilson don't print everything he knows.
All right. How about me blowing south for a while till Wilson and the cops get tired chasing themselves around in circles?
Like nothing. You're going to clean this thing up.
How?
You're going to get hold of that Barton dame and shut her mouth. Now. Tonight.
Hey, now, wait a minute, Knuckles. That dumping Willowdale's liable to be crawling with cops.
You get back out there and case the layout. Watch for a chance to throw a slug through a window and get that lippy dame.
Well, suppose I get picked up.
Well, if you get picked up, you take the rap. And you try tying me to Barton's rub-out, and your old lady and your whole crummy family will end up in the drink. Now get out of here and clam that dame. Yeah, come in.
Hello, Malone.
Wilson, what do you want?
I just happened to be passing your warehouse, saw a light here in your office, and thought I'd drop in and see what's giving you insomnia.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. You mind if I sit down?
Yeah, I do mind. Beat it, Wilson. Go peddle your lousy illustrated press.
Well, the news we print takes care of that. I see you have a copy of our early edition. You find anything interesting?
Yeah, the comics. You and them hand me a laugh.
I wonder if you laugh when they strap you in the chair.
Now listen, Wilson. You and your paper been trying to pin a racket rap on me for months, and I'm warning you, lay off.
How many times does the rattlesnake rattle before he strikes?
One of these days you're going to find out if you don't lay off me and my company.
Oh, yes, that's right. You're a company, not a gang.
Yeah.
Knuckles Malone, president. Ginny Lawson, treasurer, in charge of shakedowns. JoJo, secretary of kickbacks on material. A sales force of sluggers and muggers, and general manager of...
Now listen, Wilson, you print that...
And you can sue the illustrated press. Now don't you take your cases to court. Only to the morgue, like the body of Mike Barton.
Barton?
Yes, Mike Barton.
What do you think you've got, Wilson?
Well, frankly, what I think I have isn't half as important as what you think I might have.
Well, you ain't got a thing, or you wouldn't have come here without your pal Callahan, a homicide.
Well, if that's a comforting thought, make the most of it.
Get out of here, Wilson. You ain't needling me into nothing.
What's the matter, Malone? Are you worried about this rub out after so many others? Worried about that witness who talked to your trigger boy?
I got nothing to worry about. I got plenty alibis.
Well, then relax. Quit watching that phone on your desk as if you expect it to ring any minute.
Beat it, Wilson. Beat it, or so help me out.
Quit bluffing, Knuckles. I know all about you. You haven't used your fists on anyone since you cracked your knuckles, broke your hands on another foreman who wouldn't play your dirty game years ago.
Don't count on that, Wilson.
All right, start swinging.
Now, look.
I think I'd almost be willing to break my hands on you.
No, Wilson. You don't needle me into no assault rap.
I wouldn't be interested in anything that wouldn't put you away for life.
Well, keep after me, and maybe you'll get it.
You better answer your phone, Knuckles. Maybe important. This is your big night.
Yeah, maybe it's your big night. Yeah.
Knuckles, it's me, Trick.
Yeah.
The Barton Dame's house is closed up.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. And I got a notion the cops have got her on ice, and I better laugh.
I got a notion they ain't. And I got another notion. You better come back here and help me find out where that dame is.
How are we gonna do that?
I got a guy right here in the office who talks like he knows something, and he's gonna tell us.
Who you got?
That newspaper guy, Wilson. And I've got the notion he's crossing his cop pals for a scoop and knows where the Barton dame's hiding, if he ain't actually hid her himself.
What if he won't talk?
Well, if he ain't talked by the time you get here, we'll learn him how.
Okay. Give me 20 minutes to get there.
Get here and bring a blackjack.
Sorry, Malone. I don't think I care to wait for the treatment.
Hold it, Wilson. Hold it and sit down.
Oh. So now we come to guns.
Yeah. My knuckles may be busted, but my trigger finger is just itching to let you have a load of lead.
That wouldn't help you find Anna Barton?
No. But if you haven't spilled where you've got her before Trigg and his blackjack get here, you're going to get a beating maybe you won't live to remember.
Miss Kilburn. Miss Kilburn?
Oh, Miss Barton. Try to get some sleep. It's 3:00.
Oh, I can't sleep, Miss Kilburn. I'm thinking about poor Mike and worrying about you and your nice Mr. Wilson. You've been so kind to let me stay here in your apartment.
Well, I'm glad you're here and not in that isolated house, but don't worry about Steve Wilson, Miss Barton. He can take care of himself. So, don't worry.
But you're worried. I heard you out here in the living room pacing up and down. You're mighty fond of him, aren't you?
Yes. Doggone it. Oh, that may be Steve. Steve?
Sorry, Miss Kilburn. It's only me, Harry the Hack.
Oh, Harry, well, have you heard from Steve?
No, I ain't, Miss Kilburn, but I got something you ought to know.
He went to see Knuckles Malone in the hope of needling him into showing his hand in this Barton killing.
Holy moly, maybe he's in the middle of something.
Well, what makes you think so, Harry?
Well, 'cause I hung around that Barton guy's house in Willowdale like the boss said to do, see? And about an hour ago, a car stopped in a lane and a guy cased the place and hauled to Big Town with me and judicious pursuit.
Where'd the man go in Big Town, Harry?
That is the fly in the ointment, Miss Kilburn. He hightailed it straight for that supply house on South Street that Malone uses as a front for his shakedown rackets.
Good heavens, and Steve may be there right now. Where are you, Harry?
Phoning from an all-night dog wagon about a block from the warehouse.
Harry, cruise around and see if my press car is parked in the neighborhood. Steve took it after he dropped Miss Barton and me here at my place.
Okay, Miss Cooper. If I find a press car, we'll know the boss is probably in a warehouse and in a jam, which will require some assistance of a knocker nature.
Now, wait a minute, Harry. Please don't crash into that rat's nest just armed with a monkey wrench. I'm calling Inspector Callahan, and I'll be down there on the double.
Come on, you slug. Where you got that Barton dame? Come on, Wilson, talk. Spill it or I'll slap you silly.
Go ahead. Hold it, Trigg. Give him a minute to think it over. Rest your arm.
Don't worry, Knuckles. I can keep swinging on this slug all night.
I said hold it a minute. Now listen, Wilson.
I'm strapped to this chair. Don't have much choice.
I'll make a deal with you.
I'm listening. But if you're still offering your lip-chewing Gunzel as the rap boy in the Barton killing, it's no go.
What's that? What's that double play?
Don't be a dope, Trigg. He's trying to cross us up.
Sounds like you've been trying it on me.
Well, what do you expect?
What's the deal, Knuckles?
Relax, Trigg. I was just going to give this dope a chance to get out of this jam alive, but since he's tried to cross us up, I changed my mind. Go ahead and beat it out of him. He's good, but he can't take much more.
Okay. But don't get no ideas of selling me out, Knuckles. All right, straighten him up in that chair and let me go to work. What?
Lay off of the boss, you sap-slinging slug! Thanks, but watch it, Harry. Malone has a gun.
Yeah, Hacky. You swing that wrench on me and I'll tear you open with every slug in this rod.
Uh-oh. Sorry, boss. I guess I picked the wrong pigeon first.
It was a nice try, Harry, but don't risk a repeat performance on Malone. You better drop the wrench.
Oh, no. Wait a minute, Hacky. You knocked out my boy just when I needed him to do a little beating job on Wilson.
Mister, you are positively breaking our hearts, is he not, boss?
Lay off the gags and listen to me, Hacky.
Well, go ahead and talk, Malone. Mr. Wilson and me has got more time to spare than you got.
Meaning what?
Meaning Harry trails your stupid Gunzel here and doesn't make a habit of crashing a rat's nest without inviting the police in for the showdown.
Check and double check, boss.
Well, in that case, we ain't got much time, so you're taking my boy's place. Now get to work on Wilson with that monkey wrench you're so handy with. Go on, Hacky. Slug him until he talks.
Thus, Steve and Harry are caught in a murderous cover-up. In a moment, we'll come to the exciting climax of tonight's story, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Doctors have proved it. Yes, doctors have proved it. Not just once, but time after time in 820 scientific tests. Here is the news. Lifebuoy Health Soap, with its purifying ingredient, gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Cleaner than any other leading soap. The cleaner you get your skin, these doctors found, the safer you are from BO. So be on guard. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner than any other leading soap. Gives lasting after-bath protection 24 hours a day. So bathe daily with Lifebuoy. Refreshing, mild. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Get Lifebuoy right away. Now back to Big Town. And to Steve Wilson and Harry the Hack as they face a showdown with a killer in tonight's story of Blind Justice.
Go on, Hacky. Work on Wilson with that monkey wrench until he talks.
Well, look, Malone, if you would leave me elucidate,
You better go ahead, Harry. Malone is getting nervous. He's listening for the sound of a squad car siren.
Oh, yeah? Well, I still got a notion you crossed your cops' pals on this deal to get a scoop for your lousy illustrated press, Wilson.
Well, that same notion has sent smarter killers than you and your gunsel Trigg to the chair.
Clam up, Wilson. I only want one thing out of you. Where's that Barton dame that can identify Trigg as the guy that knocked off her brother?
Suppose I told you Anna Barton never saw your gun boy.
Don't give me that. She opened the door. She talked to the dope.
Even so, suppose I told you Anna Barton wasn't able to give one single solitary clue as to the identity of the man who murdered her brother.
I'd say you're a liar, and I'm going to get the truth out of you. Go on, Hacky. Start marking Wilson up with that monkey wrench.
Well, look at Malone, as I was about to elucidate. One conk with this noggin knocker, and nobody talks for hours. For example, your guns are laying over there on the floor like a solid mackerel.
If you knock Wilson out before he spills where he's got that Barton dame hid, I'll chop you up with this rod.
Go on, Harry. Can't be much worse than Trigg's blackjack.
Oh, look, boss, why don't you tell him where the lady is? By now, Miss Kilburn has got to Inspector Callahan, and Malone has got about as much chance of getting out of this stump as a fly has getting out of a barrel of molasses.
Quit stalling. Quit bluffing. Come on. Start swinging, Hacky.
Go on, Harry.
Wait a minute, Harry.
What? Who's the dame, Wilson?
Lorelei, why didn't you stay out of here?
Sorry, Steve. I thought I'd better come in with that stitch in time to save you boys 9. And try to convince Mr. Malone that Inspector Callahan and his homicide squad are in the process of covering every rat hole in this warehouse.
Don't give me that. Callahan wouldn't have let no dame walk in here alone. Who are you, sister?
Not your sister, thank heavens, and I didn't wait for Inspector Callahan's permission to come in here.
You hadn't ought to done it, Miss Kilburn. This Malone character's got a strictly one-track mind and thinks that gun in his mitt is a magic wand.
And it's going to get me out of here, and this dame is just what the doctor ordered. All right, come on, Kilburn. Unstrap Wilson, and we're going out the back way to a place where he can tell me all about that Barton dame without his pal Callahan busting in.
Hey, what about your gun boy? We gonna leave him here for Callahan?
No. You knocked him out, so you're going to carry him. Go on, Kilburn. Take the straps off of Wilson.
All right. Are you badly hurt, Steve? Can you walk?
Yes, I can manage. Hit the floor when I give the word.
Wait, Steve. Callahan's boys must be outside by now, closing in.
Now get away from him, Kilburn. I'll get up and head for the door, Wilson. We're going down in the cellar and come out in the next block.
Knuckles.
Well, look who's coming out of the slug I give him. I must be slipping, boss.
Get Trigg on his feet, Hacky.
No, wait a minute. Let me take him, Harry. It'll be a pleasure, and he might be useful.
Who slugged me, Knuckles? Who slugged me?
Come on, gun boy, on your feet. Let's go.
Now you're getting smart, Wilson. And when we get where we're going, maybe you'll be smart enough to talk, huh?
No, I think we better have this out right here. Back of me, Lorelei. Dive, Harry.
You tricky slug. Break away, Trigg.
I can't, Knuckles.
Get away from in front of him.
I can't. Knuckles. He's all yours, Malone.
Ooh, give me a piece of him, boss.
No, Trigg's out of the play, Harry. Hold Malone while I get the gun out of his hand.
This'll hold him.
Nice swinging, Harry. Thanks very much.
Knuckles, get up, you slug. You got me in the stomach, you rat. No.
What's that Trigg character, Steve? He's got a gun in his shoulder holster and he's clawing for it.
Yes, wait a minute, Trigg. You need a doctor, not a gun. Thanks very much. I think ballistics will show this is the weapon that killed Mike Barton.
And to pin the crime on this murderous little rat and Malone who hired him to do it, the police won't need the testimony of Mike Barton's blind sister.
Blind? You mean a Barton dame was blind?
That's right. Stone blind.
Blind? She never saw me. That's a laugh, huh? Couldn't have put the finger on me, even if the cops picked me up. Blind, huh?
Yes, Trigg. Yours is the common case of the guilty fleeing when none could pursue. And blind justice being on the side of the victims of violence and greed.
So ended, with the subsequent arrest and conviction of Knuckles Malone and his murderous Gunsel, another exciting racket-smashing assignment of the newspaper career of Steve Wilson and his staff of the Illustrated Press. Now, before hearing about next week's story, here's Steve Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Wilson, and it's great to be back. I speak for all of us on the Illustrated Press and for Big Town. We're proud to be on this splendid network, proud to be associated with one of America's great concerns, Lever Brothers Company. And in particular, its very fine product, Lifebuoy Health Soap. I believe in Lifebuoy. I've seen the proof of its superiority with my own eyes. It's used in the homes of 40 million Americans. I can say personally and emphatically that if there are any in our audience who do not use Lifebuoy Health Soap, there's something wonderful in store for them when they try it. We're all looking forward to a grand season. We appreciate very much your welcome back into your homes this evening. And so thank you and good night.
Next week, the makers of Lifebuoy bring you a hard-hitting story entitled Final Payment, another exciting assignment in the newspaper career of fighting Steve Wilson of Big Town. Don't miss it. In tonight's dramatization, all names, times, and places are fictional, and any similarity to other names and places is purely coincidental. Big Town features Edward Pauly as Steve Wilson, Fran Carlin as Lorelei Kilbourne, and was written and directed by Jerry McGill. And now, Big Town bids you good night until next Tuesday night, same time, same station, when you'll hear the newsboy calling...
Extra, extra, hero all about it. The story of Steve Wilson and Big Town, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, another fine lever product. Extra,
This is Bernard Dudley. My wife says this: nothing compares with new Rinso. New Rinso with Solium gets white clothes whiter than new, and washable colors even brighter than brand new. And even on rainy days, even when clothes are dried indoors, that wonderful new Rinso puts sunshine in your wash. Your wash comes brighter than you've ever seen it. Only new Rinso contains Solium, the amazing new scientific sunlight ingredient. Try safe, soapy-rich new Rinso next wash day. See why my wife says nothing compares with Rinso.
Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town.
Extra, extra, hero all about the final payment. Steve Wilson's headline story, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, the soap that gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Extra, extra.
Yes, Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town. The headline stories of a great city, dramatically reported by Steve Wilson, fighting managing editor, whose creed, as with all great newsmen, is emblazoned on the masthead of the Illustrated Press.
The power and the freedom of the press is a flaming sword, that it may be a servant of all the people. Use it justly, hold it high, and guard it well.
Now, Big Town, and tonight's story of a vicious racket of modern ghouls, trading on tragedy and sorrow. The Final Payment. No sensational headline yarn for Steve Wilson and his Illustrated Press. This story of a vicious, widespread, but little publicized racket began in a cheap rooming house headquarters of Malcolm Todd and his embittered, red-headed accomplice, Ginger. Began one evening not long ago.
Well, so you got back, Ginger. Congratulations.
Lay off the sarcasm, Mal. I've covered every pawn shop in this section of Big Town and my feet hurt.
How many watches did you get?
About a dozen, but I had to pay $5 for some of them.
Okay. We'll still make a slick profit once I get the initials of today's crop of dead ones cut on the back.
Look, Mal, I'm getting sick of this peanut racket. rucking the relatives of a lot of dopes that ain't even been buried yet.
I told you it's just till we get a stake, get organized, and go big time. Line up a mob, work with a real racket.
Yeah, that's what you said in Chicago 6 months ago. But things got hot and we had to beat it. And the same thing happened in Cleveland.
Well, it ain't gonna happen in big town. We're gonna make a killing as soon as we can line up with a real racket.
So why don't we get right into some racket that pays off in something more than 3 squares and bus fare to the next town when the local flats start breathing down our
I
necks.
keep telling you, Ginger, it's only till we can hook up with some local mob that's got connections and protection. Now quit beefing and pack up them watches.
Yeah, sure. We gotta catch the widows and relatives and collect for the handsomely initialed watches. Well, I'm sick of it. Fed up.
Oh, shut up and get to work. That kind of attitude ain't gonna get you diamonds and mink coats.
At the rate we're going, I'll end up with one of these $2 watches.
What?
I'm sick of you and your schemes. I'm fed up.
Don't start throwing things, baby. Listen to me.
Matt, you hurt my arm. Let go. I'm pulling out.
Oh, no, you're not. Hold still, baby. Listen.
They're on my throat. Let go.
Shut up and listen. I want to show you something. Something you don't ever want to forget.
Matt, what are you doing with that gun? You promised you'd quit carrying a gun after what happened in L.A., that cop.
Forget that cop. You're liable to find out if you try pulling out on me.
I was only kidding, Mel, honest.
Don't ever try it, baby.
Mel, let go of my throat. I won't.
All right. Don't ever try to pull out and cross me up with another guy or I'll blast you both.
I won't, Mel. I won't.
Oh, good. Now go wash the mascara off your face and go out and get the early edition of the Illustrated Press.
The Illustrated Press?
Yeah, it's the top sheet in this town. They have the best obituary column, the best list of suckers. Now get going, honey. The dead don't like to be kept waiting.
Hello, Steve. You got a minute to spare?
Hello, Lorelei. Could be. What's furrowing your lovely brow this beautiful afternoon?
I think I've dug up the meanest racket in the world.
Well, which one? There's several running neck and neck for that title.
Ever hear of poor box looters and those who steal pennies off the eyes of the dead?
Oh, yes. Among others.
Well, this racket puts those human benefactors in the shade.
Okay, let's have it, Lorelei.
There are a couple of modern grave robbers working a post-mortem delivery of junky watches on the relatives of people who have just died.
Uh-oh, the old obituary racket.
Right. They get their list of prospects from the obituary columns of the newspapers.
Yes, Lorelei. In one form or another, it's been going on for years. The crooks deliver cars, jewelry, portraits, usually worthless junk they claim the deceased member of the family ordered before he died.
This time it's cheap watches with initials carved on the backs. Price $20 in the case I ran into.
How'd you pick up the lead? Police headquarters?
No, I was over in the factory district getting the story on a man who was killed in a hit-and-run accident. The man's wife told me the story and showed me the watch.
Had she reported the matter to the police?
No, she said she was sure her husband never ordered the watch, but the man who delivered it threatened to sue, so she gave him the money.
Yes, they generally pay without question or protest.
Oh, Steve, it was awful the way she sat holding that cheap watch, her fingers touching the initials cut in the back. Knowing she'd been cheated, feeling so helpless, and yet accepting it as part of the greater tragedy that had come to her.
Well, these petty crooks know it's easy to work their dirty racket on the people in the depths of misery and despair.
And because they don't rate front-page headlines, nobody bothers. Nobody cares to read about it.
You're wrong, Lorelei. Millions suffer from the petty rackets. The very ones who can least afford to lose the little they have. Besides, this type of filthy gyp is a training school for the big-time rackets.
Is there anything we can do about this one, Steve?
Yes, did you get any lead? A good description of the man who delivered the watch?
No. The poor woman was so upset she couldn't recall what he looked like. She thought he was tall and dark complexioned.
Oh, I'm afraid that's no help.
It'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack, even if we followed up on every obituary notice in the press.
Yes, that's the... Hold it. Lorelei, you've given me an idea. How would you like to be a widow?
Hey, not so fast, Steve. You might at least find me a suitable husband before you make me a widow.
Well, for this job, we can skip the formality. Here, find yourself a furnished apartment in the want ad section.
Hey, what have I talked myself into?
A handsomely initialed watch, ordered by your late husband, I hope.
Oh, light begins to dawn. I'm the come-on.
Yes, pick a moderate price furnished apartment in the factory district and get over there and rent it before it's taken.
Well, here's one at 20 Pine Street.
Pick a name, Lorelei. Smith, Brown, Jones.
I'll take Jones. Lorelei Jones.
Yeah, Mac, the Obed.
Hello, Mac. Steve Wilson.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, what can I do for you?
I want you to insert a death notice, Mac.
Hey, Mr. Wilson, sorry. Friend, relative of
No, an imaginary character called Jones, Henry Jones, Mac. We're baiting a trap for a modern gravedigger. Robert.
Henry Jones.
Survived by his wife, Lorelei Jones.
Lorelei?
Check. It's all very sudden, Mac.
Anything else?
Have the notice set up, but hold it until Lorelei's rented an apartment and phones in the address.
It's as good as done, Mr. Wilson.
Thanks, Mac.
Do I dress the part, Steve?
No, you'll do as you are, but hide that $20 hat.
On my salary? Oh, I made it myself.
I'll hide it anyway, and on your way to your new address, you better stop at your place and pack an overnight bag, Lorelei.
Okay.
And when you get a flat, phone Mac, the obit, and give him the address.
Right. Well, how long do you think it'll be before the slimy character appears?
Well, if he sees the obit and takes the bait at all, he'll show up sometime tomorrow morning.
What do I do, call for the law?
No, Lorelei, these rats can be as mean and vicious as their racket. Just tell him you want whatever your late husband ordered, but you haven't the money.
Mm-hmm.
Say you'll have to get it from your brother and ask him to come back in an hour.
Then what?
Well, then phone me here at the office and I'll be right over.
Okay, brother.
Right. And I'll be there when he comes back.
Can I kick him just once when you grab him,
Nothing
Steve?
doing, Lorelei. Like four-legged rats, the obit operators seldom hunt their victims alone. We want all of them before we spring the trap.
Thus, Steve Wilson, fighting editor and champion of the helpless and the victimized, has set a trap for the vicious racketeers preying upon the poor and distressed. In a moment, we'll rejoin Steve and Lorelei as they carry out their plan to entrap these modern public enemies.
Extra, extra, hero about it. Doctor's amazing report. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Hero about it.
Pardon me, but did that boy say Lifebuoy Health Soap gets skin cleaner?
That's right, miss. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner in your daily bath than any other leading soap.
And doctors have proved it?
Oh, yes, indeed. And not just once, but time after time. These doctors found in 820 scientific tests that Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner, stops BO as no other leading soap can.
Now, wait a minute. Won't any soap get you clean?
No, all soaps aren't the same. Any soap will remove all the grime and perspiration you can see, but it's the invisible dirt, doctors say, that may form a foothold for BO. So be on guard. Remember, Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner than any other leading soap. Gives lasting after-bath protection 24 hours a day.
But how does Lifebuoy do it?
Well, doctors say Lifebuoy's purifying ingredient makes the difference. And this same purifying ingredient actually makes Lifebuoy milder, safe even for a baby's tender skin. So bathe daily with Lifebuoy. Refreshing, mild. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Get Lifebuoy right away. Now, back to Big Town and tonight's story of a vicious racket, the final payment. Learning that an obituary racket is being worked in Big Town, Steve has set a trap by having Lorelei Kilburn rent a furnished flat and pose as the widow of a worker whose fictitious death was announced in the obituary columns of the Illustrated Press. Now, the following day, we find Lorelei in an apartment on Pine Street, phoning Steve as she waits for the racketeers to come and take the bait.
Hello? Hello, Illustrated Press? Steve Wilson, please. Lorelei Kilburn calling.
Hello, Steve Wilson.
Oh, hello, Steve. It's Lorelei.
Chisel showed up yet?
No, and it's 3 o'clock. The death notice has been out almost 24 hours. I'm afraid we've drawn a blank.
Well, stick it a few more hours, Lorelei. It takes these racketeers time to mark initials on their junk, and they may have other deliveries to make.
All right, Steve, but I'd hate to spend another night in this place.
What's the matter, my lovely?
Rats. 4-legged.
Say, where are you phoning from, the hall?
No, the apartment. The former occupant had a phone, and it hasn't been disconnected.
Well, that's a break. Call me back if and after our man shows.
All right, I will, and incidentally, don't you trust me, Steve?
What do you mean, Lorelei?
There's been a man sitting on a stool in a bar and grill across the street watching this house all day.
Probably a barfly student of human nature.
Mm-hmm. His name couldn't be Harry the Hack, unofficial chauffeur and bodyguard of the Illustrated Press staff, could it, Steve?
Very observant, Lorelei. You're also a very good reporter, and I'm not taking any chances.
Oh, thanks, Steve, but hold it. I've got to call her.
Okay, hang up. Do your act and make it good. If it's the man we're after, do just as I told you, and don't write yourself an obituary.
Right, Steve, I'll play it straight, and I'll call you back as soon as he leaves. Yes. Yes, just a moment, please. Who is it?
Package for Mr. Henry Jones.
Oh, a package? Just a minute, please.
Good afternoon. Mr. Jones in?
Oh, Henry, my husband died only yesterday.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
Yes, it was very sudden.
Well, maybe that's the best way to go, ma'am. But now about this package.
Oh, yes, you said you had a package for Henry. I'll take it.
Fine. I guess you'll want it to remember him by. The watch he ordered.
A watch?
Yeah. We'd have been able to deliver it sooner, but he wanted his initials on it. There's a COD charge for $20.
$20?
Yeah, 20.
But Henry didn't tell me anything about ordering a watch.
Maybe he was going to surprise you.
Well, maybe, but could I see it?
Sure. Here you are. But I can't leave it without the $20, lady.
Oh, I understand. It doesn't look like a very good watch.
I don't know anything about that, lady. All I know is your husband ordered it. Had us put his initials on it. And that spoils it for anybody else. So we have to collect the $20.
But I don't have $20 in the house. You see, there have been so many expenses.
How soon can you get it?
Well, I'm expecting my brother. I guess I could get it from him. Could you come back in an hour?
I don't know. I got a couple of more deliveries to make.
Well, could I come to your shop and pick it up this evening?
No. I'll be back in an hour. If I can't make it, I'll send one of my assistants.
All right. You come back and I'll have the money ready for you.
Good. You do that and we won't have to turn the matter over to our collection agency. So long, Mrs. Jones. See you later.
I'll say you will, you scum of the earth.
Lorelei?
Steve, come in. What kept you? It's almost time for that human leech to come back.
Oh, I stopped across the street to tell Harry to be in his hack and ready to roll.
Oh, good. How are we going to handle this big rat when he shows?
Well, just how big is he?
Yeah, I can spot you 4 inches and 20 pounds, but I'm not sure he'll be back in person.
Well, I hope you didn't scare him off.
He isn't the type that scares easy when there's cash in prospect, but I think he may send an assistant.
Well, it doesn't matter. The assistant will lead us to their headquarters, Lila.
Well, what'll I say this time?
Now, when the bell rings, you're going to be grief-stricken. I'll handle this.
Okay, Brother Steve, the pleasure is all yours. Last time it made me sick to my stomach listening to that leech pull his rotten routine.
Okay, Lorelei, go in the other room and leave this to me. I'm going to try and act of my own.
Well, restrain your impulse to smash his face in.
I'll try to do that, Lorelei. Oh, good afternoon. Well, hello, Red.
Well, hello, big boy.
Oh, sorry, I'm afraid you have the wrong apartment, sister.
I don't think so. Mrs. Henry Jones lives here, don't she?
Why, yes.
You must be the brother she was going to borrow $20 from that left the COD on this watch her husband ordered before he died.
Oh, yes. I got the money for you. Right here.
Thanks. Hope you don't mind if I count it, handsome.
Not at all. But I want to have a talk with you, Red.
What about?
About your boss.
How come?
I might have something that would interest him.
Oh, yeah? Just a minute, my boss don't like to get shortchanged.
Oh, smart boss.
Nice fresh bills right out of the mint.
That's right. Now, if you give me the watch, I'll give it to my sister. She's lying down. It's been pretty much of a shock.
Yeah. But she's lucky having a smooth guy like you around. Must be quite a comfort.
Oh, thanks for the compliment, but what happened to your boss? I thought he was coming back.
He had some deliveries to make across town. And am I glad? You wouldn't be going my way, would you?
Could be, Red. But I got to talk to my sister first. I've been waiting for me downstairs.
I got a better idea. I'll wait for you in the bar and grill across the street. The name's Ginger.
Okay, Ginger. See you in a few minutes.
Don't keep me waiting, brother.
Don't worry. I won't.
Well, handsome, you certainly did all right on short notice.
Now, don't jump to conclusions, my lovely.
You don't have to jump at those kinds of conclusions. They just run you down.
Okay, but this changes our plan of action, Marlene.
Obviously. What assignment have you thought of to get rid of me?
Now, don't tell me you're jealous.
Don't flatter yourself, brother. Oh, okay, see, Steve, seriously, what was the purpose in that quick play-up to that curvaceous cutie with the 4-alarm tresses?
I think I can persuade her to lead me right to her boss, Laura.
Well, what do I do while she's doing that?
I want you to get out of here, get in Harry's hack, and follow us wherever we go when we leave that bar and grill.
So far, easy.
When I give you the high sign, I want you to go to the nearest police station and tell them what's up.
And invite them to a handcuff party?
Yes, on the double.
Okay, big boy, what's your name?
Steve. Steve Wilson.
What's your racket, Steve?
I haven't a racket of my own, Ginger.
Ah, don't give me that, Steve. You got dough and you got brains, so you gotta have a racket.
Oh, I work for a big organization.
Oh, I get it. A big-time mob.
Well, I wouldn't care to have it called a mob. But what about this boyfriend of yours?
He ain't my boyfriend. I just been stringing along, getting nothing but promises. And from where I sit, it looks like he ain't never gonna get nowhere.
Yeah, there ain't much future in selling junky watches, even if he puts initials on $2 tickers and CODs them for $20.
Hey, you're wise to the racket.
Oh, sure. I cut my eye teeth on it.
Well, then how come you give me the $20 without a squawk?
Because I want to meet your boss.
What for?
Well, maybe I'll put him in line for something big.
How do I know you're on the level?
I'm not on the level. Now, how about taking me to meet your boss?
He'd beat my ears off if I brought you to the joint we're using as headquarters while we're working big time.
I thought you said he wasn't your boyfriend.
He ain't, but he's crazy jealous, and if he thought I was interested in another fella, there's no telling what he's liable to do.
Oh, okay. There's nothing to keep me from following you home, is there?
No, there ain't. You look like you could take care of yourself. But if you do, you better watch out for Mal.
What last name is he using this season?
Mal Todd, and you watch out. He carries a rod in his suitcase, and I happen to know he's used it more than once.
Oh, thanks for the tip, Ginger. I think Todd will listen to my proposition.
He wants to tie up with some local mob that's got organization and protection. Maybe he'll listen. But, you got a rod, just...
Gun.
Gee, then you are a big shot, Steve. Where's your bodyguard?
Outside. A taxi parked down the street.
Gee, fancy me bumping into a guy like you. Am I lucky?
Well, on the other hand, I might be a plainclothes cop.
Nah, you ain't the type.
Okay, well, now that we understand each other, suppose you finish your drink and go to Todd's place.
Okay. And you're gonna trail along?
Like your shadow.
Okay. And Steve.
Yeah, Ginger?
In case you should find Mal Todd don't want to play along with you, it won't break my heart if you have to rub him out.
Yeah? That you, Ginger?
Yeah, Mal. Let me in quick.
What's lathering you?
Close the door. Lock it.
Okay. It's locked. What's the matter? What kept you?
A guy's following.
Guys are always following you.
It's the brother of the dame we hooked.
That Mrs. Jones?
Yeah.
So what? Did you get the $20?
Yeah, he gave it to me.
Okay, hand it over.
Can't I keep a $5?
I'll give you a couple of bucks tomorrow. What about this guy? Did he squawk?
No. He bought me a drink and tried to get the lowdown on you.
On me? Copper, maybe.
No, I can whip a cop a mile. Talks like he's got some kind of racket. Wants to talk to you.
What about?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me.
Listen, you two-timing little twist, if this is a double cross.
Man, you're hurting my arm.
Sometimes I think I ought to break your neck. What'd you tell this local wiseacre?
Nothing, Mel, honest. And I tried to shake him, but I couldn't. He followed me all the way here.
I did. Okay, if he wants to talk, we'll see what he's got to say.
Now, you hadn't ought to carry that gun on you. Real big shots hardly ever carry guns.
This is one of them hardly ever times, sugar puss.
Mel.
Huh?
I think he's out in the hall.
Okay, let's see what he wants. Good evening, brother.
Hello, Todd. You mind if I come in?
No. Come in. Come on in, wise guy. And we'll make you feel right at home.
Thus, Steve Wilson, in an effort to trap two vicious crooks working an obituary racket in Big Town, has walked into their hideout, while Lorelei goes to summon the police. In a moment, we'll come to the exciting climax of tonight's story, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Amazing, sensational, almost unbelievable, I know. But doctors have proved it, not just once, but time after time. In hundreds of scientific tests, these doctors found that Lifebuoy Health Soap, with its purifying ingredient, gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Stops BO as no other leading soap can. The cleaner you get your skin, these doctors found, the safer you are from BO. So be on guard. Remember, Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner than any other leading soap. gives lasting after-bath protection 24 hours a day. Yes, bathe daily with Lifebuoy. Refreshing, mild. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Get Lifebuoy right away. Now, back to Big Town and tonight's headline drama, The Final Payment. Posing as a local racketeer, Steve Wilson has followed the woman accomplice of a petty crook to their hideout. But double-crossed by the girl, Steve is admitted at the point of a gun.
Come on in, fella. I've been hearing about you.
Thanks. I hope I'm not interrupting anything unimportant. And put away that gun.
Never mind the gun. Don't forget I got it, smart guy. Sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
No, thanks. Looks like the chairs are falling apart.
Suit yourself. Ginger tells me you've been pumping her about our little obit racket.
Oh, nice going, Ginger. I thought you weren't going to tell your pal Todd. We had a little talk.
That's what I wanted you to think.
Ginger would double-cross her own grandmother, but she knows better than to pull a fast one on me.
Oh, that must be a comforting thought while it lasts.
Okay, wise guy. What do you want?
I want to size you up before I make you a proposition, Todd.
What's the name?
The name's Wilson. Steve Wilson.
What's the proposition?
It's a proposition that'll save you wearing out shoe leather trying to make a living by rooking grief-stricken relatives out of their hard-earned cash, paying for junk watches no one ordered.
Okay. Your wife's the racket. How come you forked over this $20?
Because I expect to get it back.
With interest, yeah? Frisk this monkey, Ginger. Let's see if we can place him from what he's got on him.
You won't find a gun.
He said he never carried no gun, Mal. He's clean.
Yes, remember what else I told you, Ginger?
Yeah. Mal, you better go easy. He acts like a big-timer, and he's got a bodyguard that trailed us all the way here.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me that?
Well, I forgot.
What else you forget? What is this, a frame?
I'm just looking after myself, that's all.
Oh, Ginger wouldn't double-cross you, Todd. You just finished saying so.
She won't do it but once. Come on, Ginger, give out. What's the angles on this screwy setup?
I don't know, and I don't much care. What'd I ever get out of stringing along with a small-time punk like you?
More than you ever got out of that 5-a-day routine in that Tank Town burlesque.
In a pig's eye. Anyway, I wasn't always ducking cops, getting the bum's rush from the local hoods. I'm fed up. I've had enough, and I'm getting out while the getting's good.
You better stick around, Ginger. Maybe Todd and I can make a deal and go places.
Like nothing. I thought maybe you was somebody, but you let this tin horn push you around like he was a pig shot.
Stay put, Ginger. You ain't taking a powder on me for this guy or anybody else.
Like nothing, I ain't. I know when I've had enough.
Don't unlock that door, Ginger. I told you you'd never walk out on me.
I heard you say it plenty of times.
I meant it then, and I'm telling you now.
Now, don't be a fool, Todd. The chair's the payoff for trigger play.
Shut up, Wilson. Come back here, sugar puss, or so help me, I'll let you have it.
Don't tempt him, Red.
He ain't got the nerve. So long, small time.
So long, you two-timing little tramp. Duck, Ginger, I'll kill her. I'll kill her.
Not shooting into the ceiling, you won't. Okay, Todd. Sleep that one off. Are you all right, Red?
Yeah, he missed me, and you're okay. I thought you was just another four-flusher, but you're okay, and you and me can really go places.
Sorry, Ginger. Your cross and double-cross has left you right where you started. Long ago.
The cops. And you're one of them.
No, Ginger. Just a newspaper man who doesn't like to see a lot of poor and distressed people being pushed around.
Steve, you all right? I heard a couple of shots.
Right as rain, Lorelei. Tell the law to come in and collect a couple of practitioners of one of the meanest rackets on the book.
Well, they just pulled up outside. Well, how did you manage this, Steve?
I suppose this Dave is that bodyguard you was talking about.
Uh-huh. But we're thinking of getting him a keeper any day now.
Okay, Lorelei, spare the rib. Get on the phone. Get the story to Fletch on the final.
Right, Steve. The capture of this pair should help break up the obituary racket in Big Town.
Yes, Lorelei, and serve as a warning to other migratory leeches preying on the helpless and the distressed.
So ended another skirmish in the endless battle of the war on crime. Another win in the career of fighting Steve Wilson and his staff of the Illustrated Press. Now, before telling you about next week's dramatic Big Town story, here is Lorelei Kilburn.
Friends, this is Lorelei Kilburn. I'd just like to say how nice it is to be back in these big town adventures. And it's especially nice to be working for such a fine sponsor as Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lifebuoy Health Soap. Like millions of other Americans, I've been a Lifebuoy fan for years. I like the lather, I like the mildness. I've seen the proof of its quality and its wonderful effects. I know you'll like Lifebuoy, too. And we're all looking forward to next Tuesday night and many Tuesday nights to come. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. Thank you, and good night.
Next week, the makers of Lifebuoy bring you The Trap, a hard-hitting story of a dead man's revenge on his enemies. Another exciting assignment in the newspaper career of fighting Steve Wilson of Big Town. Don't miss it. In tonight's dramatization, all names, times, and places are fictional, and any similarity to other names and places is purely coincidental. Big Town features Edward Pauley as Steve Wilson, Fran Carlin as Lorelei Kilburn, and was written and directed by Jerry McGill. And now, Big Town bids you good night until next Tuesday night, same time, same station, when you'll hear the newsboy calling...
Extra, extra, hero all about it. The story of Steve Wilson and Big Town brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, another fine Lever product. Extra, extra.
New Rinso with Solium puts sunshine in your wash. Rain or shine, new Rinso with Solium gives your wash a new brilliance you've never seen before. You can dry clothes anywhere, and white clothes will turn out actually whiter than brand new, and washable colors brighter than brand new. It's because new Rinso contains the scientific sunlight ingredient, Solium. No other soap contains Solium, only new Rinso. It's so safe for clothes, so kind to hands. Find out about the amazing new brilliance of Rinso washed clothes. Find out how new Rinso with Solium puts sunshine in your wash. Get Rinso right away.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town.
Extra, extra, hero all about the trap. Tonight's Big Town story brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Extra, extra.
Yes, Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town, the headline stories of a great city dramatically reported by Steve Wilson, fighting managing editor whose creed, as with all great newsmen, is emblazoned on the masthead of the Illustrated Press. The power and the freedom of the press is a flaming sword, that it may be a faithful servant of all the people. Use it justly, hold it high, and guard it well. Now, Big Town, in tonight's tense and timely newspaper drama headlined, The Trap. The evil men do lives after them, quote and unquote. And such is the case in Steve Wilson's story of treachery and revenge, which began with the final meeting of Bart Slade and his wife Ruby in the visitor's room of State Prison on the day of his scheduled execution.
5 minutes, Slade. Your wife is in booth 1.
Wired for sound? Thanks for nothing. I ain't talking.
Suit yourself. 5 minutes.
Tell our warden he's wasting his time. What's the idea coming here, Ruby?
To tell you not to give up hope, Bart. Don't talk, Bart.
Why not?
You'll get a stay. You'll get a new trial. You gotta believe it, Bart. Trent will get it tonight.
No dice. If I don't get a rain check on a chair before 7, I'll sing before I burn at 11.
Don't, Bart. They'll get me if you do.
Then start running, baby. Keep going. Don't ever stop.
With what? I'm broke.
You'll manage. You always have. And I know how.
Don't, Bart. They'll burn you anyway.
Maybe.
Who'll you tell?
The racket-bust newspaper slug that helped the cops put me here.
Steve Wilson of the Illustrated Press?
Yeah.
He won't help you get a stay of execution.
No, but if I go tonight, Wilson's a fall guy that's going to bait the trap for the rats that let me take this murder rap.
Give Trent a chance. He's a good criminal lawyer. He's got connections. He's pulling strings.
Yeah, there's a guy here that's good at pulling switches. He goes to work on me at 11.
Don't do it, Bart. Don't talk.
Beat it, baby. Tell Trent he's got till 7.
Steve, when and how did you get in the office?
The back way, through the composing room. Come in, Lorelei, my lovely, and close the door on those infernal and eternal teletypes.
With pleasure.
Come on, perch on the corner of my desk and take my mind off these European dispatches.
I wouldn't if I could. Besides, you're on the hook. We've been trying to reach you for the last hour.
Oh, don't tell me the Illustrated Press hasn't been able to get along without its illustrious managing editor even for an hour.
We've managed, but you're the original indispensable man as of 7 o'clock tonight.
What's up?
You're wanted up at State Prison on the double-double.
Oh, good grief, that's right. Bart Slade goes to the chair tonight.
Right.
Has he talked to anyone?
No, but he wants to talk to you.
To me?
Mm-hmm. Inspector Callahan phoned. It's all arranged for you to talk to Slade in the death house, but I don't like it one little bit, Steve.
Well, why not, my lovely?
Slade should hate you like poison for helping Callahan of homicide nail him for that election murder last spring.
Yes, he does, and with good reason.
So, if he's going to name the ward-healing goons who hired him, why should he give you the scoop and the break?
Well, ours is not the reason why, Lorelei. Get one of your so-called hats and see if Harry the Hack is out front.
Harry's waiting, and one more mere male comment on my latest in feminine headgear will get you a tap on the cranium with Harry's trusty monkey wrench. Let's go.
Here you are, Mr. Wilson. I have to lock you in with Slade while you talk to him, but I'll be right down the corridor if there's any trouble.
Thanks, guard. I don't think there'll be any trouble. I'll call you when I'm ready to leave.
Okay. Wake up, Slade. You got the company you asked for.
Thanks. Hello, Wilson.
Hello, Slade. Were you sleeping?
What for? Looks like 3 hours from now I'm going to get a big, long sleep.
I'm sorry, Slade.
Why, you helped the cops put me here for killing the guy.
I hate to see any man die without regret.
I didn't invite you here for no sermon. We got a chaplain for that.
All right, then. Why did you ask to see me?
Because I want to get the guy that's letting me fry.
You mean you're ready to give me the name of the rats who hired you to beat that poll watcher to death?
Just one guy. I don't care about the guys back of him.
Well, I do. I want the ones behind this wave of political violence in the Third Ward.
You'll have to be satisfied with him if you can get him before he gets you.
I'll try to avoid that. What's his name? What's so funny, Slade?
This'll kill you, Wilson. I ain't gonna give you nothing. I ain't even gonna give you the time of day.
And why did you ask to see me? Insist on talking to me and no one else.
Listen fast, and I'll lay it out.
All right. I'm listening, Slade.
Now, here's a pitch, Wilson. I don't get no last-minute stay of execution. So I sent for you.
Go on.
The pen grapevine reaches right into this death house, you catch?
I think I get it, Slade. By morning, the word that you squealed will have reached every rat and rat's nest in Big Town.
Yeah. And they'll be after you to shut you up, but that ain't the best part.
Time is running out, Slade. Let's have the best part.
Yeah, for you and me both. When you walk out of this cell, you ain't gonna have a pal in the world.
Why not?
Nobody's gonna believe I didn't give you nothing, see? Even your pal Callahan of homicide is gonna think you're crossing him up for a scoop in your lousy Illustrated Press. Or the biggest shakedown that's ever been pulled in Big Town.
Don't count on that, Slade.
Let me give you what's gonna happen if I go tonight.
Look, Slade, I couldn't stop your execution for that cold-blooded murder. Even if you told me the names of every crook and ward healer involved.
Yeah, I know, because I can't prove a thing. I could give you the name of the guy that hired me to cool that poll-watching dope, but you'd never get him for that. Because he don't know it, but you wouldn't have a thing.
Well, what does he think you have on him?
Piece of paper. In his handwriting. Telling me when and where to nail that poll-watching dope.
Where is that paper, Slade? That will burn him, if you really want revenge.
I lost it, Wilson.
Lost it?
Yeah. Ain't that a laugh? I lost it. And that's all there was to pin him to the rap.
I'll give me his name, Slade. I'll give it to the warden, and maybe you will get a stay of execution.
Don't kid me, Wilson. Not without proof, and I ain't got no proof.
Well, how do you expect to get him through me? If there's no evidence, he'll never be convicted for that crime.
No, but here's what's gonna happen.
Well, let's have it.
When you don't print nothing, except maybe I went without spilling my insides, this guy's gonna think you're holding out.
Don't stake your life on that, Slade.
Don't worry about me, Wilson. I'm as good as cooked, and so are you.
Oh, how so?
Because this guy that's letting me fry is going to think you're holding out. Maybe you got your hand out big.
And try to buy me off?
Yeah, that'll be the bait for the trap. But they'll pay you off with lead.
Oh, I see. You can't get him as a partner in your crime, but you think the law will nail him to the chair for killing me.
Yeah, Wilson. That's the pitch.
Yeah.
It's going to work, Slade. It will work. Now call that screw and get out of here. Because I got a date. Yeah, I got to order some supper. Anything I want. Steak, strawberry shortcake, ice cream, coffee. A lot of coffee to keep me awake. And I got to get a shave and a haircut. I got a date at 11 o'clock tonight.
Thus, Steve Wilson has been drawn into a deadly trap set by a vengeful killer. And for the tense and exciting developments as this trap closes in on Steve, we'll return to our big town story in a moment. Actually, I just can't remember how long ago it was that I took my first bath with Lifebuoy Health Soap. I always felt extra clean afterwards. But even so, I was startled when the doctors announced the news that Lifebuoy actually does get skin cleaner. Suddenly it hits you. Cleaner. Yes, and doctors proved it. Lifebuoy in your daily bath gets skin cleaner than any other leading soap. First thing you know, you find out for yourself. Then you're telling everybody. The cleaner you get your skin, these doctors found, the safer you are from BO. And the doctors proved in 820 scientific tests that Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner than any other leading soap. Stops BO as no other leading soap can. What does it? Well, doctors say Lifebuoy's purifying ingredient makes the difference. And this same purifying ingredient actually makes Lifebuoy milder, safe even for a baby's tender skin. So bathe daily with Lifebuoy. It's refreshing and mild. And Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. I like it. You like it too. Now, back to Big Town and Steve Wilson and tonight's headline story of The Trap. Put on the spot by a condemned killer who has made gangland believe that he squealed in a death house interview, Steve Wilson grimly awaits a move from the underworld. And meanwhile, at the office of the Illustrated Press, Lorelei Kilborn, his ace crime reporter, tries to anticipate Steve's countermove by enlisting the help of Maisie, chief switchboard operator of the press.
Hello, Maisie.
Yes, Miss Kilburn.
Listen, Maisie, I'm in Steve's office.
Oh, is Mr. Wilson back? Just about everybody's calling him.
No, doggone it, and I'm worried.
I should certainly think you would be, Miss Kilburn. I was just conversing with Harry the Hack, and he said Mr. Wilson is practically the same thing as a clay pigeon in a shooting gallery.
That isn't the worst of it, Maisie. Even Inspector Callahan of Homicide and the prosecutor think Steve's holding out on the name of the man who hired Bart Slade to kill that poll watcher.
Oh, but Miss Kilburn, we know Mr. Wilson would never do that, unless he had a mighty good reason. Well, hardly ever, that is.
Yes, but a good reason won't keep Steve out of the morgue or the river if he makes a mistake.
Is there any way in which I may be of assistance, Miss Kilburn?
Yes, Maisie. I've a notion Steve expects somebody to contact him in the next day or so, and I want you to listen in on every call he gets.
Oh, but Miss Kilburn, if Mr. Wilson found out I was doing that, he'd have me tossed down on my ear, in a manner of speaking.
I'll guarantee he won't, Maisie, and if you don't, he may not live long enough to fire any of us.
All right, Miss Kilburn, I'll do it, but... Oh, it may interest you to know Mr. Wilson is on his way into his office right now.
Oh, thank heaven. And thanks, Maisie. I've a notion he's going to send me out on an assignment to get me out of the way. Now, I'll call in every hour if he does.
Hello, Lorelei, my lovely. A call for me?
No, Steve, I was just making a date.
Oh, break it. I'm sending you down to Washington.
Washington?
Yes, to cover those spy hearings. There's a big town angle coming up tomorrow.
Steve Parker of our Washington Bureau can handle that. You're just trying to get me out of the way.
Out of the way of what?
Oh, Steve, don't play the lone wolf with me. We've worked together too long, covered too many assignments.
Oh, not like this one, Lorelei.
What's going on, Steve? Did Bart Slade give you something so big, so loaded with dynamite you can't trust anybody with it? The prosecutor, Inspector Callahan, even me.
No, but Bart Slade was right. Even you don't believe me.
I want to believe you, Steve, and I want to help.
You can't.
Why not?
I've been elected bait for a trap, Lorelei. And there's nothing to do but wait.
Wait for what?
Wait for the rats who hired Slade to commit a political murder to come to the same conclusion you and Callahan and the prosecutor seem to have reached.
That you're holding out?
Yes, but for a price.
How will it come, Steve? When do you think they'll try to contact you?
Well, any time now, and I want you to keep out of it, Lorelei.
You can fire me, but I won't promise. Isn't there anything I can do?
Not a thing. Until they make the first move.
Well, what about his lawyer, Sam Trent?
Well, he's bound to be in it. But I can't prove it.
Oh, your private wires, Steve. Maybe a tip from one of your underworld listening posts.
I doubt it. I've checked most of them. The golden age of silence has settled over this town like a blanket. Steve Wilson, Illustrated Press.
You alone, Wilson?
Enough to listen.
How come you didn't spill what Bart Slade gave you last night?
Who wants to know?
Don't play games with me, Wilson. You're on a spot, and so am I.
All right. Where do you fit in this?
I'm Slade's wife. Or I was, till yesterday when I talked to him. That puts me in the same spot you're in.
Does that make you want to talk?
Yeah, to you. Quick and private.
When and where?
My place at 10 River Street. Come alone or it's no deal.
Who put you up to this?
I'm looking after me.
How?
I want half of every buck you shake out of the guys that let Bart burn.
Sorry, I haven't had an offer.
You'll get one.
Why?
Because you haven't printed anything in your crummy illustrated press or spilled to the cops. So louse the store and get down here or I'm getting out of town.
All right, I'll be there in half an hour.
So this is it. This is what you've been waiting for.
Yes, Lorelei, Slade's trap is working like a charm.
And you're going to walk right into it?
Yes, and alone.
No, Steve. No story's worth it.
There won't be any story unless I make it, Lorelei.
Well, at least take Harry the hacker. Call Inspector Callahan.
We wouldn't get a thing. I've been cast in the role of a shakedown artist by a dead man, and I've got to play this out or ride around in a bulletproof car from now on, Laura.
Well, then where are you going? At least tell me that much.
I've got a date with a lady who wants to talk.
Oh, sure. Talk you into a cement overcoat in the river.
I'll try to avoid that.
Famous last words.
Sorry, I haven't time to argue, Lorelei. We mustn't keep the lady waiting.
Steve, it's crazy. It's just another trap.
Yes, but people who build traps sometimes get caught in them, Lorelei. Now wait here. Hang on that phone till I call you.
No, wait, Steve. At least take a gun. You've got a permit. You have every right.
No, Lorelei. A gun started all this. But a dozen guns won't end it. Now keep your fingers crossed, my lovely, and don't put Harry the hack on my tail. I'll shake him before he's followed me a block.
Oh, you will you? You stubborn, crazy, wonderful luck. Maisie.
Yes, Miss Kilburn, and to whom was you referring to as a love?
Steve Wilson, and he's on his way out to get himself killed if you didn't get an earful of that phone call he just got.
I certainly did, Miss Kilburn, and if you should ask me, the lady he was conversing with is no lady.
I'll buy that. What's her name and where's Steve meeting her, Maisie?
I gathered she's the widow of that gentleman which went to the chair last night.
Ruby Slade? Where's Steve meeting her?
At her place, 10 River Street.
Thanks, Maisie. Where's Harry the hack?
It so happens by an odd coincidence he's right here trying to make a date with me.
Well, give him a rain check and tell him to get his hack around front and pick me up and nothing flat.
Say, Miss Kilburn.
Say it, Harry, but for heaven's sake, get to 10 River Street as fast as you can.
It is practically done, Miss Kilburn. And while I am wondering if we should not call for an assist from Callahan and his homicide boys, on account of this is the heart of the 3rd Ward, which is a section so tough even the mice go round with Tommy guns.
I'm going to phone Callahan as soon as we get there, Harry.
But suppose we should upset Mr. Wilson's apple cart. Will he not be inclined to skin us alive and tack our hides to the wall of the city room?
I'll risk it. This is one time I think Steve is overplaying his hand, walking into a trap tailor-made for him.
Yeah, and they're liable to hem-stitch him up in a bag with a Tommy chopper and drop him in the Aqua Impura Big Town River. 10 River Street's in the next block, Miss Kilburn. Do I stop in front of the joint?
No, Harry, I see a cigar store in the corner. Stop there and I'll phone Callahan.
Check. And, how about me going around through the alley and reconnoitering the dump for back exits in case of contingencies of an unexpected nature?
All right, do that, Harry. Try the back fire escapes, but don't crash in on Steve and Ruby Slade with your monkey wrench unless the party gets rough.
Okay, Miss Kilburn, I will just play like I am a peeping Thomas until the psychological moment is ripe.
Yeah, who's there?
Trent, Ruby.
Open up.
Come on in. Kept you.
I had to check my pipeline into police headquarters to make sure Wilson is still holding out on the cops. You sure he's coming here alone?
Sure, I'm sure. He said he was, and he sounded anxious.
That a girl. You're playing this smart. When we settle with Wilson, I'll take good care of you. Come here, Ruby. I'll show you how.
Cut it out, Trent.
Sam to you, baby. Bart Slade's gone. We can quit pretending.
Cut it out, Trent. I only want one thing out of you, and that's dough.
Don't you trust me, Ruby?
No. Bart trusted you. Look what it got him, the dope.
Because he was a dope. You're smart. You can go places with my help, my connections.
Yeah, I'm going places, all right. I'm going just as far away from Big Town as I can get after tonight.
All right. Maybe that can be arranged.
I'll do the arranging. And I've got what it takes to do it. Right in this handbag.
Put away that gun, Ruby.
Sure. Just want you to know I have it. And I want the $5,000 you promised me to sucker Wilson into this setup. Now, tonight.
All right, Ruby. Yeah.
Thanks for nothing.
Better count it.
I bet I will.
I'll take that gun.
Tricky slug. You rat.
No, just careful. Guns make me nervous.
After all the gunzels you've hired to knock off dopes for the ward healers you front for.
That's different. Now behave yourself and get set for Wilson.
That ought to be him.
Invite him in.
Yeah, who is it?
Steve Wilson.
Come on in, Wilson. The door ain't locked.
Thanks. Well, hello, Trent.
Hello, Wilson.
Fancy meeting you here.
I'm Mrs. Slade's attorney.
Oh? I thought your connection with the Slade affair ended with his execution in the death house last night.
Well, there are a few loose ends that have to be cleared up.
And you think I might clear them up?
That's right.
For instance?
You talked to Slade last night. He gave you something.
So I've been told by lots of people.
Let's have it. How much do you want?
That depends on who you're representing.
10,000?
For a scrap of paper with the time and place of a murder written on it? Make it 20 and I could retire.
You'll retire, all right, if you don't play ball.
Not enough, Trent. You see, I have to split with Ruby 50-50.
What's that?
He's a liar. That was only part of the come-on to get him here.
How does that strike your legal mind, Trent?
It sounds like a double cross. So you couldn't play it one way, huh, Ruby? You had to play it both ways.
I wasn't. I haven't got anything. Bart never told me anything about a piece of paper.
Where is it? Who's got it? You wouldn't have tried shaking Wilson for a share if you didn't know something.
Think fast, Ruby. The heat is on, Slade. From the higher-ups, he's got to cover, or they'll cover him.
Honest, Trent, Bart never gave me a thing. He never trusted me after word got up to the prison that I was going around with you.
And how's that additional testimony strike your legal mind, Trent?
It suits me, makes everything fit, makes things easier.
Listen to me, Sam. You gotta believe me.
Get away from me, Ruby. You wanted to go places. You were going to make sure of it with this gun.
No.
Don't be a complete fool, Trent. Shoot Ruby and Bart Slade will have had the last line.
Shut up, Wilson. You fit in this. I'll get to you.
Shoot us and you'll walk into the trap Slade set to get you.
Wilson's right. Bart said he'd get you if you let him burn last night.
Not this way. Murder and suicide. Bart Slade's wife killing the newspaper slug that helped send him to the chair. Murder and suicide with their own gun.
No, I'll play it any way you want.
Keep away from him, Ruby.
I'll go anywhere you
Trent, you murderous rat. You poor fool.
Stay put, Wilson. Now, where's that order I gave Slade to rub out that dopey poll watcher? Talk your way out of this. If you can.
Thus, a dead man's trap has claimed one victim and placed Steve in a deadly situation. And in a moment, we'll come to the exciting climax of tonight's story, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Friends, this may startle you as it startled me. It's amazing, I know, but it's true. Doctors have proved it, not just once, but time after time. In hundreds of scientific tests, these doctors found that one soap, Lifebuoy, with its purifying ingredient, gets your skin cleaner in your daily bath. Stops BO as no other leading soap can. You and I know that's important. The cleaner you get your skin, these doctors found, the safer you are from BO. And Lifebuoy gets you cleaner than any other leading soap. Gives you lasting protection 24 hours a day. So bathe daily with Lifebuoy. It's refreshing and it's mild. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner. Get some tomorrow morning, won't you? Now back to Big Town and tonight's headline story of The Trap.
Having deliberately walked into a trap set by a dead man to get revenge on those who hired him to commit a political murder, Steve faces Sam Trent, a criminal lawyer who has just slain the dead man's wife in an effort to cover up his connection with the original crime. Now, a moment later, he turns on Steve to carry out a prearranged plan of murder and suicide.
Talk, Wilson. Where did Slade tell you to look for that slip of paper I gave him?
Don't tell me a slick criminal lawyer like you made the fatal mistake of putting anything in writing that would tie you to one of the dirtiest crimes in the book. Political murder.
Everybody makes mistakes. Quit stalling, Wilson. Where's that note I gave Slade?
The joke is on you. Slade only told me about the note.
Where is it?
You lost it.
Lost it?
Yes. He didn't have a thing on you. That's why he didn't name you before he died. He knew we couldn't get you, couldn't prove a thing.
You're lying, Wilson, lying.
Well, it doesn't matter now. Slade's going to get his revenge for your having let him go to the chair.
What are you talking about?
You poor fool. Slade arranged this trap. Never gave me a thing. Knew you'd try to pay me off with lead and go to the same chair that he died in for killing me.
Well, that's what's going to happen, but that isn't the way it's going to work. Nobody knows I came here to Ruby's tonight.
Now, don't count on that, Trent. Committing murder isn't as easy as hiring it done.
This will stick. Ruby over there on the floor dead, you with the rest of the bullets out of this gun, her gun, murder and suicide with plenty of motive. You helped send her man to the chair. Even your own lousy Illustrated Press will eat it up.
It won't work, Trent. You'll never get out of this building without being seen.
I don't have to get out. I'm Ruby's lawyer. I came here and found you and Ruby dead, the gun in her hand. I'll even call you Pal Callahan and report it.
That won't be necessary, Trent. That should be Callahan, if I'm any judge of human nature.
You wouldn't have tipped him off till you knew who you'd find here. Who would have called him?
Lorelei Kilburn, one of my best crime reporters, except for the fact that she's a very stubborn young woman.
So what? This fix will still work?
It won't work. Because there's been an eyewitness to everything that's happened here in this last 5 minutes.
Where?
On the fire escape at the back window behind you.
Don't pull that corny old look behind me, Gag Wilson. You've stalled all you're going to stall.
Hit the deck, boss!
Keep out of this, Harry.
Bingo! Boss, right on the button. Hey, leave me massage him just once with this knocker for safekeeping till Callahan gets here.
He'll keep, Harry. Thanks for the timely distraction. Let me jump him.
Oh, think nothing of it, boss, but you really hadn't ought to take chances like this if you wish to live to a ripe old age.
Let's call it an occupational hazard, Harry. Where's the Lorelei?
Miss Kilburn? Well, what makes you think she would be anywheres around a place like this?
Because I told her to keep away from here, not to follow me. Stay at the office.
Steve, are you all right?
Speaking of the lady in question, boss.
Yes, Lorelei, come in here.
Oh, thank heavens. I just happened to be passing...
It's no use, Miss Kilburn. The boss is a super student of feminine psychology and somewhat anticipated us all the way.
Uh-oh. I might have known.
Did you call Callahan, Lorelei?
Mm-hmm. And I think his homicide boys are throwing a net around this rat's nest by now. Am I fired, Steve?
No. Get on the phone and tell Fletch to hold the final half an hour until we can get some conversation out of Sam Trent.
Sam Trent, Slade's lawyer. Is he the one you're after?
He's the front, Lorelei, but I'm afraid he's all we're going to get in this hall.
Why, Steve? Maybe he'll talk to save his own neck.
No, Lorelei. Slade's trap worked all too well.
How do you mean?
Trent has murdered Slade's wife. She's lying over there behind the couch.
Oh.
All the talk in the world won't save Trent from the chair.
So ended with the arrest, conviction, and subsequent execution of Sam Trent. Another win for Steve Wilson in his crusade against crime. But only a partial victory, for there remains in Big Town, as in all cities, the powerful forces of violence and evil, drawing new recruits to carry on their reign of terror over those who believe in law and order. And now, before telling you of next week's exciting Big Town story, here is Steve Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Wilson. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge with thanks the many kind letters we've received these past few weeks, welcoming us back this season. I know I'm speaking for all of us on the Illustrated Press and for Big Town when I say it's great to be back. And it's particularly pleasant to find that so many of you are using Lever's fine product, Lifebuoy Health Soap. I believe in Lifebuoy. I've seen the doctor's proof of its superiority with my own eyes. I'm impressed by the fact that Lifebuoy today is used in the homes of 40 million Americans. If there are any in our audience who haven't used Lifebuoy Health Soap, I can make this promise. They have something wonderful in store for them when they try it. We hope you'll all join us again next Tuesday night. Until then, thank you, and good night.
Next week, the makers of Lifebuoy bring you a hard-hitting story headlined The Cat Man. A gripping story of a manhunt for a killer whose mark of murder is a crying cat. Another exciting assignment in the newspaper career of fighting Steve Wilson of Big Town. Don't miss it. In tonight's dramatization, all names, times, and places are fictional, and any similarity to other names and places is purely coincidental. Big Town features Edward Pauly as Steve Wilson, Fran Carlin as Lorelei Kilborn, and was written and directed by Jerry McGill. And now Big Town bids you good night until next Tuesday night, same time, same station, when you'll hear the newsboy calling.
Extra, extra, hear all about it. The story of Steve Wilson and the Cat Man, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, another fine lever product. Extra, extra.
New Rinso with sodium puts sunshine in your wash. Rain or shine, new Rinso with sodium gives your wash a new brilliance you have never seen before. You can dry your wash anywhere, and white clothes will turn out actually whiter than brand new, and washable colors even brighter than new. It's because new Rinso contains the scientific sunlight ingredient, sodium. No other soap contains sodium, only new Rinso. So safe for clothes, so kind to hands. Find out about the amazing new brilliance of Rinso washed clothes. Find out how new Rinso with sodium puts sunshine in your wash. Get Rinso in the new package with a red sodium label. More women use Rinso than any other wash day soap in the world.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town.
Extra, extra, hear all about the double murder. Tonight's Big Town story brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Lifebuoy gets skin cleaner in your daily bath. Extra, extra.
Lifebuoy Health Soap presents Big Town. The headline stories of a great city dramatically reported by Steve Wilson, fighting managing editor whose creed, as with all great newsmen, is emblazoned on the masthead of the Illustrated Press.
The power and the freedom of the press is a flaming sword, that it may be a faithful servant of all the people. Use it justly, hold it high, guard it well.
Now, Big Town, and tonight's headline story captioned Double Murder. Few men are capable of murdering a woman, and if the attempt fails, the would-be killer must strike again. And such is the background of Steve Wilson's strange case of double murder, which began some months ago near Gangland's conventional burial ground, an abandoned coal dock on the Big Town waterfront.
All right, Dick. Get her out of the back of the car.
Hey, why don't you drive us right into the drink and be done with it?
I know what I'm doing. Drag her out of there, and I'll make sure that chain don't come loose and let her float up into the city morgue.
Yeah, okay. But I don't like the idea of cooling dames. Nobody gets off with a big tag for killing a dame.
Put her down on the edge and quit jittering. I don't like it either, but orders are orders.
How come Anders made you do it, Artie? I thought you were soft on a canary.
Who says I did?
Okay, then Anders. But I thought he never...
Quit thinking, Dink. Quit talking about her. She was a good kid, but she knew what happened to that narcotic fed.
Okay. Let's get it done with and get out of here.
Okay. This canvas will hold.
The chain will keep her on the bottom till it won't matter.
Where'd you get that chain, Artie?
Off at the gate of Mickey Martin's casino on the River Road.
Creeps, that'll tie this to him if the cops drag her up out of the drink.
That's the big idea. Come on, grab hold.
Creeps. She ain't very heavy even
Shut
with
up, Dink. Heave.
Creeps, Artie. I need a drink.
Shut up. Let's get out of here.
Steve, you got a minute?
Sure thing, Lorelei, my lovely. Come in.
I want you to listen to something that may be right up your alley. Come in, Miss Mills. Thank you, Miss Kilburn. Steve, this is Cora Mills. She's from upstate.
How do you do, Miss Mills?
How do you do, Mr. Wilson? She's here in Big Town looking for her sister. She's disappeared, Mr. Wilson. I haven't heard from her in 2 weeks.
Well, perhaps he just hasn't written.
No, there's something wrong, I'm sure. I phoned the rooming house where she was supposed to be staying. The landlady said she'd never been there.
What was she doing in Big Town?
She hoped to get a job singing.
Singing?
Yes, she sang in one of our local nightclubs upstate.
I see. Did she ever write you? Mention any contact she'd made?
Only one person. Someone by the name of Tyler, a talent agent. He was going to get her a job.
Tyler. Ever heard of him, Lorelei?
Yeah, Steve. He's a crummy 20%er in the old Big Town building. I went there this afternoon, and his secretary said he'd never had anyone named Clara Mills on his talent list.
Sounds like a cover-up. Have you contacted the Missing Persons Bureau, Miss Mills?
No, sir, not yet. I checked the bureau, the hospitals, and the morgue, Steve. Nothing. I came to the Illustrated Press because I've heard you help people like me, Mr. Wilson. I hoped you'd run a story. Perhaps even print a picture.
Well, we'll do anything we can, Miss Mills. Have you a photo of your sister?
Yes. Here it is, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, this will help. We can print it, but first... Wait a minute, Miss Mills. This is a photograph of you.
No, I'm Cora Mills. That's Clara. We're twins, Mr. Wilson, identical twins.
Good grief. That changes things. If anything has happened to your sister, those responsible may know you're looking for her by now.
How about that landlady, Steve? She must be lying.
Go see her, Lorelei. Put the pressure on. Size her up for a sign of a payoff to keep her mouth shut.
I think she has been paid, and it'll be a pleasure.
Well, take Harry the hack along. Landladies who can be bought may be rough and tough.
Okay, Steve, are you going to call on Tyler, the talent toad?
Yes.
Let me go with you, Mr. Wilson.
No, Miss Mills, I want you to stay right here in my office.
But why, Mr. Wilson?
Well, this doesn't sound like any penny ante cover-up, Miss Mills. And if anything really serious has happened to your twin sister, those responsible are liable to start thinking they're seeing a ghost.
Ghost? Then you think Clara's been murdered?
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Mills. It would be folly and dangerous to you to overlook that tragic possibility.
I don't care about myself, Mr. Wilson. Clara was so different from me in everything but looks. Talented, wild, headstrong. But I loved her. And I'll do anything to find those who've hurt her, maybe even killed her.
I know you will, and you may have the chance, Miss Mills, but I want you to stay right here at the Illustrated Press until Miss Kilburn and I can find out if your sister is alive or dead.
Vic Anders.
Vic, it's me, Tyler. I've been trying to reach you all afternoon.
Yeah, I'll bet. I've been busy.
Remember that Clara Mills canary I sent you?
You never sent me nobody, you percentage punk.
Yeah, I know. That's what you told me to say. But a dame come in this afternoon while I was out of my office.
What happened?
My gal said I'd never handle that dame.
You dope, if anybody asked, they must have known you did handle her.
But there ain't nothing here in my office to prove it. No records, no pictures of the dame.
Nothing but you.
I won't talk. I'll keep clammed, Vic. You can trust me.
I'm gonna make sure.
Want for me to get out of town for a while?
Yeah. Stay in your office. I'm sending Artie over after you.
Artie?
Yeah, but relax. You're just going on a little trip. Stay put or we'll find you and you will go for a long ride.
Anders lying. You don't trust me. He's going to shut me up like he did that Mills dame. I got to get out of here before... Artie!
Hello, Tyler. You going away?
No, What's the idea of crashing my private office?
The outer door to your so-called reception room was open.
Who's the arty character you're expecting?
None of your business. I ain't booking no acts. Beat it.
I'm not selling an act, Tyler.
What do you want?
I want a straight answer to a simple question.
Name it.
Where is Clara Mills?
Clara Mills? Who's she? Never heard of a canary by that name.
You're a rotten liar, Tyler.
I'm not lying.
You tripped yourself in your first lie. I didn't say Clara Mills was a singer.
I just guessed.
Well, then guess what's going to happen to you if you keep on lying to cover whatever's happened to that girl.
Let go. I don't know what happened to her.
Stop lying, Tyler. This smells like murder.
How do you know I'm lying?
It's written all over you. I walk in here and find you waiting for someone called Artie. You're getting ready to run. And when I opened that door, you sounded like you expected the kiss of death.
Who are you? A copper?
Oh, but thanks for the compliment. I'm Steve Wilson of the press.
Oh, a newspaper guy.
Yes. And if you don't talk to me, you'll talk to the police. If your friend Artie doesn't get here first.
Oh, no, let me go. I don't dare talk.
Don't be a fool, Tyler. It's obvious you're marked for a ride or a rub-out. Whether you talk or not.
Let me go, Wilson. I gotta get out of here. They're coming after me any time now. Wilson, somebody just come in the outer office.
Is there another way out of this office?
No. Get out of sight. If they find me talking to a newspaper guy, they'll blast me sure.
All right. I'll get against the wall behind the door when it opens, but cross me up and you'll be signing your own death warrant.
Okay, Tyler. Come on, let's go.
Don't walk out there, Tyler. Try to get him in here.
Wait a minute. I'm packing a few things.
Oh, yeah? Come on, Tyler. You're traveling light.
All right, but I gotta take a few papers.
Get away from that desk.
Like nothing I will.
Yeah, that's right. Like nothing you will. So long.
Tyler, where'd he hit you?
In the throat. Listen, Wilson.
Lie still. He's gone. Where's your phone?
Behind you. On the windowsill. Listen.
Oh, wait a minute. He got you in the throat. You need a doctor. Quick.
No, listen. He got me twice.
Where else?
Here. Over the heart.
Homicide.
This is Steve Wilson. Will you ask Inspector Callahan to come to room 210 Old Big Town Building and order an ambulance for a gunshot case?
Okay, Mr. Wilson. Can you hold on?
Wilson, listen.
Yes, just a minute, officer. What are you trying to say, Tyler? Here, write it on this piece of paper. Don't try to talk. Good grief.
What happened, Mr. Wilson? I haven't located Inspector Callahan yet.
All right. When you do, tell him never mind the ambulance. Just bring a basket. Tagged for the morgue.
Thus, death has wiped out one lead in the riddle of the missing girl. But for the tense and exciting developments, we'll return to Steve Wilson and Big Town in a moment. All these years I've been using Lifebuoy Health Soap. I always did think it got me cleaner somehow, but I never knew how right I was till recently when I saw the actual proof. Here's what the doctors now know. After comparing the effects of daily baths with different soaps, they made this amazing statement. Actually, you're cleaner, safer from BO when you bathe daily with Lifebuoy than when you bathe with any other leading soap. The doctors studied 820 scientific tests and discovered that it's Lifebuoy's purifying ingredient that makes the difference. If all of you could see the evidence the doctors saw, evidence that I've seen with my own eyes, you'd never use any toilet soap but Lifebuoy in your daily bath. Well, these doctors discovered time after time that daily baths are not all alike. You are cleaner, you are safer from BO with Lifebuoy than with any other leading soap. And remember, the purifying ingredient actually makes Lifebuoy milder, safe even for a baby's tender skin. So enjoy the real pleasure of a Lifebuoy bath every day. It's refreshing and mild. And Lifebuoy gets you cleaner. You'll like it. Get some tomorrow and see. Now back to Big Town and to Steve Wilson's headline story of double murder. Tracing a young girl whose twin sisters appealed to the illustrated press for help, Steve Wilson located a shady talent agent who apparently booked the missing girl into some big town nightclub. But the agent was murdered before he could talk. Meanwhile, following another lead, Lorelei Kilborn and Harry the Hack approach a cheap rooming house near the theater section of Big Town.
This is the roach roost, Miss Kilburn.
Thanks, Harry. You wait in your hack while I quiz this landlady with a conveniently forgetful memory.
Well, Miss Kilburn, did the boss not explicitly state that I was to stick to you in the event of eventualities requiring some flexing and unflexing of muscle, which I am very good at?
Yes, but I'm going to question the lady on her own doorstep, and if I need you, I'll call for reinforcements.
Okay, and speaking of the lady, there is a somewhat avoirdupois Amazon oogling us through the curtains of the ground floor front.
Thanks, Harry. That may be a good sign. Wait here.
Watch her, Miss Kilburn. She's waddling to the door.
That suits me. Oh, she's an eager beaver. No need to ring. Good evening.
What do you want?
I might want to rent a room.
I'm full up. No vacancies, dearie.
Expect any?
No. Who said I might and who sent you?
A girl who had a room here a couple of weeks ago.
What girl?
Clara Mills.
You're a liar. No Mills gal ever stayed here. What's the gag? You the dame that phoned yesterday? Said you was a sister from out of town?
No, I'm just a friend of the family.
Well, beat it. No Mills dame ever rented a room in my place. She got herself in a jam. It's no skin off of my neck.
What makes you think Clara Mills might be in a jam?
Out-of-town dames are always coming to big town and getting themselves in jams.
And the same goes for women who run boarding houses and let their tenants vanish and lie about it when they're questioned.
Who are you calling a liar? Who are you? A femme flat from the missing persons office?
No, but if you don't answer my questions, they'll be around and you'll do your talking at headquarters.
What's this dame pulled? How come the heat's on?
What heat?
I mean, how come you and the sister's looking for her?
There's a fair chance she's been murdered.
Murdered?
Yes. And now before you do any more lying, think over the consequences of being an accessory to a murder against whatever you were paid to keep your mouth shut.
You're crazy. I don't know nothing.
We know she roomed here. She wrote her sister.
She was lying. I ain't had a vacancy in a month.
How much are they paying you to say that?
Nothing, and you can't prove a thing.
Oh, so you removed her clothes and her luggage. They've really got you up to your neck in criminal conspiracy.
I ain't talking. You can't trick me into admitting nothing.
You've been tricked. Who shut your mouth with money or threats?
Nobody.
Where did Clara Mills get a job?
I don't know.
If you don't tell us, we'll get it out of her agent.
What agent?
Tyler, a talent toad in the old Big Town building.
Never heard of him. Don't know nothing. Get out. Beat it. Let me alone.
What's the matter, Miss Kilburn? Don't the lady want to buy no subscription to help you work your way through college?
No, Harry. She's trying to work her way into woman's prison for the rest of her unnatural life.
She shall live so long.
What do you mean by that crack, Hacky?
If you will observe carefully, madam, there is a gent meandering up and down across the street who is very interested in our little tete-a-tete, and he is manicuring his mitts with a toad sticker, which might likewise be used for cutting throats. Yours, for instance.
You don't scare me. I don't know nothing, and I ain't talking.
All right, but if you live long enough to change your mind, call Steve Wilson at the Illustrated Press.
Well, don't hold your breath.
Sorry, Miss Kilburn. Did I do wrong butting in?
Oh, I don't know, Harry. Is that man across the street really watching this house?
Yeah, and he ain't thinking of buying it.
Good. I think he'll follow me.
Hey, now, wait a minute, Miss Kilburn.
I'll walk down to the corner drugstore and phone Steve.
And while I'll be doing what?
Drive round the block and come up the avenue. If he follows me when I leave the drugstore, I'll shake him in the arcade building.
And then?
You get on his tail and stay with him until he lights.
Okay, Miss Kilburn. You sure you can shake him?
I'll shake him. And if he comes back here to take this stupid landlady on a little trip, call Steve at the office right away.
Mr. Wilson, did you get any information about my sister from that talent agent?
Please sit down, Miss Mills.
What's happened to Clara? What did that talent agent tell you?
Not a thing.
Nothing?
He was about to leave town when I got to his office. He was too frightened to talk, and before I could get him out of there, he was shot.
Killed?
Yes, murdered by a gunsil who simply opened the door of Tyler's office and shot him down.
Oh, how horrible. But must that mean my sister Clara is really dead?
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Mills, but my experience, even gangland rarely commits murder, except to cover murder.
But why would they kill Clara? She was wild and headstrong, but she never did anything wrong in her life. She was never mixed up in anything crooked.
Yes, but some of the nightclubs in this town have a silent partnership with the so-called underworld, Miss Mills. They're fronts for all kinds of rackets. And if your sister got a job in one, she may have been a witness to something that would require her silence. And gangland can be sure of only one kind of silence, Miss Mills. I'm sorry. I hope I'm wrong.
Poor Clara. She came here with such high hopes.
Yes, and we can only hope the deadly pattern won't be repeated.
Steve, Maisie said you just came in. Did you get anything out of Tyler?
No, they got to him before I could make him talk, Lorelei. What about the landlady?
She won't talk, but she's being watched. You better get Callahan to take her into protective custody, but quick.
Did you get anything, Lorelei?
That depends on Harry.
Well, what happened?
Harry spotted a plant watching that landlady's place. I pulled him off with a fast stroll up the avenue, shook him in the arcade building, and Harry took him from there.
Nice going, my lovely. Let's hope Harry can stay with him.
I've yet to meet the character who can shake Harry, except you.
That's only because I know how he operates.
Oh, that might be Harry, Steve.
Let's hope so. Hello, Steve Wilson, press.
Boss, it's me, Harry. You heard from Miss Kilburn?
Well, she's right here in the office, Harry. What did you get?
Plenty, boss. That creep Taylor Miss Kilburn till she shook him like a daisy was so burned he never knew I was practically breathing down his neck while he homed like a pigeon to a hook and rook roost fronted by a con character named Vic Anders.
Vic Anders' Lucky Club.
The same, boss. And as you know, it has a somewhat aromatic rep as a front for the snip and dip trade.
Yes, where are you phoning from, Harry?
And Amici sweatbox on the corner. You coming down for a look-see?
I'll be there in 10 minutes. Keep away from that place, Harry. They're playing this game for keeps.
Mr. Wilson, let me go with you. Maybe there's some hope. Maybe Clara's still there, still alive.
Oh, Miss Mills, it would be too risky. There's something queer about this, something that doesn't quite gel.
I had the same feeling, Steve, talking to that landlady. This isn't a simple matter of murder and cover-up.
I can't believe Clara is really dead. I'm afraid, but until I really know...
Wait a minute, Miss Mills. There's a slim chance. You're the image of your sister. If you suddenly appeared in Anders' Lucky Club and was mistaken for her, we might trick them into a false move.
I could go with her, Steve. You could get Callahan to cover the place with his homicide squad.
Phone him at Tyler's office, Lorelei. Ask him to throw a net around the Lucky Club on the double.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm going to pay a call on Vic Anders. I want to be in his office when you and Miss Mills, doubling as her sister, enter the club and his goon boys tell him Clara Mills is very much alive.
Thus, Steve Wilson gets set for a quick showdown with those who hold the secret of Clara Mills' fate. In a moment, we'll come to the exciting climax of tonight's story, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap. Friends, if this startles you, that's all right. I was startled, too. But it's true. Doctors have proved it to themselves. Lifebuoy in your daily bath gets you cleaner than any other leading soap. Just let me repeat that. After comparing the effects of daily baths with different soaps, the doctors made this amazing statement. Actually, you're cleaner, safer from BO when you bathe daily with Lifebuoy than when you bathe with any other leading soap. It's Lifebuoy's purifying ingredient that makes the difference. Remember, the purifying ingredient actually makes Lifebuoy milder, safe even for a baby's tender skin. So bathe daily with mild, refreshing Lifebuoy. Get some tomorrow, won't you? Now, back to Big Town for the 5-star payoff in tonight's story of double murder. Investigating the disappearance of a nightclub singer, Steve Wilson has traced her to a clip joint known as the Big Town Lucky Club. And now, having arranged a simple trap and informed Inspector Callahan of homicide of his plan, Steve enters the private office of Vic Anders, owner of the club.
Hello, Anders. Wilson, what's the idea of barging into my private office?
Call it bad manners, if you like. But I wanted to surprise you.
Nobody surprises me, Wilson. My doorman phoned me the minute you walked into my club.
Yes, I was sure he would. And he's going to have more news for you before this night is over.
What are you after, you nosy newsy? The joint's on the up and up?
Yes. You boys usually keep your fronts clean. It's what goes on behind the scenes. You're really profitable enterprises.
Name one you can pin on me, Wilson.
I'm not here to talk about rackets tonight, Anders.
No? Well, what do you want?
Let's talk about a frightened landlady on South Street, a dead booking agent called Tyler, and a missing girl by the name of Clara Mills. All right, Anders. What about them?
You're doing the talking, Wilson. You tell me.
All right, I'll tell you. It's all washed up, except for one thing. The landlady is in protective custody. The dragnet is out for your gunboy Artie because he made the stupid mistake of killing Tyler while I was in his office.
No goon by the name of Artie works for me.
All right. So far, we haven't tied him to you. But the Mills girl is another matter.
No dame by the name of Mills ever worked for me neither, and you'll never prove that she did.
Oh, no? Suppose she put the finger on you. Told why she had to disappear, why her landlady had to be bought off. why a broken-down booking agent had to be killed.
She won't.
Well, answer your phone, Anders. It might be very important.
Not to you. Yeah?
Boss, it's me, Dink. I just seen a ghost walk into the club.
What's that?
That dame Artie fixed for you, the one we had.
Shut up, you stoop. What happened?
That dame just walked into the club with the cookie I spotted quizzing her landlady on South Street. What do I do?
Keep an eye on them till I get what gives.
Now what, Anders?
Stay put, Wilson.
A gun won't get you out of this, Anders.
Oh, we'll see. Artie, come in here.
So there is an Artie.
Yeah, Vic?
Artie, I've been hearing things.
Yeah, so have I. That door's kind of thin.
This newspaper slug here says he can put the finger on you for killing a dope named Tyler.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna do that.
It's too late for gunplay, Artie.
Wait a minute, Artie. Wilson will keep. You and me got something to settle first.
All right, but keep your gun on Wilson, not on me.
Dink just phoned. He says there's a dame down in the club that oughtn't to be anywhere except...
Dink's crazy. He knows where she went. He helped me put her there.
But Dink says she's downstairs, and Wilson says she's ready to put the finger on me. How do you explain that?
All right, so they found her. So I'll tell you something, Vic.
Make it good, Artie. Make it awful good.
I told you I didn't go for killing dames.
I gave you an order, you punk.
That ties you in, Anders.
Clam up, Wilson. Anything you hear now ain't going to do you any good. All right, Artie. How did you fool Dink? What did you take down and drop in the river?
A roll of canvas and a chain for weight.
What did you do with the dame?
I made a deal with her and her landlady to keep the trap shut. Keep out of sight till I could get her out of town.
Yeah, and let her sick the cops on me for shooting that narcotic fed.
Narcotics, so that's what's back of this.
Yeah, but you won't make a headline out of it, Wilson. All right, Artie, go ahead. Wilson's your meat. He's got the finger on you for Tyler. Go on, he's no dame. You don't have to be squeamish about him.
Don't be a fool, Artie. Empty your gun into me, and Anders will empty his into you.
Yeah, I know, but like Vic said, you'll keep. Drop your gun, Vic. Drop it on the floor.
Like the devil.
All right, Artie. That saved the state the expense of one killer's trial. Now let's have that gun for evidence.
Sure, Wilson. Come and get it. One slug at a time.
No. Can't you count, Artie? 5 shots. You spent them all on Anders.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Give me. Now, leave that empty gun on the floor, Artie. Where is Clara Mills? Did you really have a soft enough streak in your rotten nature to spare that girl?
Hey, boss, are you okay? What goes? Who got all that lead?
I'm okay, Harry.
What's this rat? With pleasure. What happened up here in the shooting gallery? Who's the somewhat dead-looking pigeon on the floor?
Vic Anders. It was the old story, dog eats dog, Harry. But that isn't the best part of this payoff.
Steve!
Come in, Lola. I've got a job for you that may mean good news for Cora Mills.
I know, Steve. Callahan's men found her sister locked in the attic room of that boarding house when they took the landlady into protective custody.
Holy moly, whom would they need to protect that battle axe from?
Well, it doesn't matter now, Harry. Where's Callahan, Lola?
Rounding up the rats in this dive. He must have heard those shots and is on his way up.
Good. Borrow Anders' phone and call Fletch on the city desk. Byline yourself a story of a murderous cover-up that failed.
So ended happily for Cora Mills and her missing sister, and with the subsequent arrest, conviction, and execution of the murderous Artie, still another exciting assignment in the newspaper career of Steve Wilson and the Lorelei of the Big Town Illustrated Press. Remember, doctors have proved it. Lifebuoy in your daily bath gets you cleaner than any other leading soap. Yes, you're cleaner, safer from BO when you bathe daily with Lifebuoy than when you bathe with any other leading soap. Buy some tomorrow. Now, before hearing about next week's exciting big town adventure, here is Steve Wilson with a message about something very close to his heart and the heart of every American.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the red feather as its symbol, this year's great community chest drive is now underway. Hospitals and clinics, day nurseries and homes for old folks. the YMCA, Salvation Army, and a reborn USO. These are but a few of the red feather services that look to the community chest for funds. Their need for help is critical. And you give to them all right in your own community when you contribute once to your local community chest. So give now, and give generously. Thank you.
Next week, the makers of Lifebuoy bring you a heartwarming story of devotion and sacrifice captioned The Angel of the Street. Another exciting assignment in the newspaper career of fighting Steve Wilson of Big Town. Don't miss it. In tonight's dramatization, all names, times, and places are fictional, and any similarity to other names and places is purely coincidental. Big Town features Edward Pauley as Steve Wilson, Fran Carlin as Lorelei Kilburn, and was written and directed by Jerry McGill. And now, Big Town bids you good night until next Tuesday night, same time, same station, when you'll hear the newsboy calling.
Extra, extra, hear all about it. The story of Steve Wilson, an angel of the street, brought to you by Lifebuoy Health Soap, another fine lever product. Extra, extra.
New Rinso with Solium puts sunshine in your wash. Rain or shine, new Rinso with Solium gives your wash a new brilliance you have never seen before. You can dry your wash anywhere, and white clothes will turn out actually whiter than brand new, and washable colors even brighter than new. It's because new Rinso contains the scientific sunlight ingredient, Solium. No other soap contains Solium, only new Rinso. So safe for clothes, so kind to hands. Find out about the amazing new brilliance of Rinso washed clothes. Find out how new Rinso with Solium puts sunshine in your wash. Get Rinso in the new package with the red Solium label. More women use Rinso than any other wash day soap in the world.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.